Welcome back everyone, time to go balls deep. Guys, we're back at it again. We're One Piece. When Emu's return, or well, Emu's introduction, not really return, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to break down Emu's powers, we're going to break down the analogies and symbolisms that Oda sprinkled in the latest chapter. So there's a lot to talk about, and I'm going to be doing a full breakdown on Emu soon. Chat, we're going to make it, hopefully do it, I'm trying to aim towards next week Monday. We're going to put an upload out about Emu and what we think. Yo, take off that glasses. Nah, bro, I need glasses. I'm blind, bro. I'm blind. Every day as I grew up, I was getting more blind and blind because, you know, I'm a nerd. You know, I kept my eyes glued to the screen. That's what happens. All right, chat. Let's see. Shout out to Chase. OG's here. A lot of everyone's. You guys are ready, yeah? Why are people calling him daddy? Isn't it? Well, calm down, bro. I'm a married man. Relax, man. I got kids and shit. I'm old now. You can't be doing this. All right. So, okay. So first things first. Let's just quickly go over the chapter one more time. So last week we went over the chapter. We read it from the leaks, and it was pretty good translation actually, because I hadn't had a chance to read the official ones on Viz. So that's what we're gonna do today, and then hopefully we'll see if there's any disparities, and we'll compare the two. But I don't think there's any new updates because of the difference in trans, honestly. Yeah. So first things first. I know. Did you? I can't even say your thing. Did you? Lola. Is this your first? No, we've been streaming for a while. Our content. Me and Ardal was doing FaceTime content for like 10 years ago. When we made ABD, we were doing skits. So no, this is not my first time putting out my face. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so let's actually restart reading the chapter now. I mean, once again, we read it, so some of you guys are gonna feel like this is repetitive, but I just want to see if there's any disparity between the leaks and the actual trans. So let's start with that chat. Okay, so once again, we've got Great Emu. Did I hear that right? Because Emu's told everyone for the first time he's gonna leave Marijoa. So there seems to be a, how do you say it, a fear within his inner gang that do not leave Marijoa. And actually, while I'm doing this, guys, I mean, because this is not a read along, if you guys are upset that I'm not reading and I'm stopping and I'm writing shit out, it's because this is just a full-on analysis that I want to break down for next week. So I've got a little bit of I'm gonna write notes, okay? So Rohit said make a video about Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Oh my guy. Okay. Yes, Totara. I do have kids. I'm blessed with kids by the mercy of God. All right. I can't believe we got to see Emu before GTA 6. Trust. Now we're gonna see GTA 6 soon, hopefully. All right, come. So on the chapter review, yeah, I wrote a bit, yeah, where Sid was a bit afraid to add some of the things I wrote, yeah, because I got too too much into conspiracies and stuff. So I want to go over that in this video which I'm working on. So yes, it's going to be a bit like out of the ordinary, a lot of conspiracies and symbolisms and whatnot, because I do believe Oda is utilizing the current affairs. Yeah, he's using current affairs and politics and the geographical geopolitics, what's happening in our day and age, and implementing it in his own story in a unique way. And I know mangakas are not afraid to do that, because if you go back to Gege's Modulo was literally talking about immigration problems. It was talking about assimilation. It was talking about tolerance between different ideologies and how to come to a solution. So if Gege Akutami was willing to do that, and I'm pretty sure Oda has been doing that from day one, to be honest. We've got loads of mangakas that ventured into politics, ventured into history. We have Arakawa. Arakawa just came out with a banger. If you guys haven't watched his anime, I watched the first episode. You guys need to watch it. It's on Crunchyroll. Let me quickly show you guys. Yeah, I'm guys. Oh, I don't want to quickly show you. Let me quickly log in. I want to show you this anime that you guys need to watch, man. You guys, it's actually sick. Yeah, it's called. Where is it gone? Some Daemons something. I'm going to show you guys, yeah. It's actually sick. I just watched it. Maybe I need to go to my history. There it is. Daemons of the Shadow Realm and Arakawa. This is OG Full Metal Alchemist. I know a lot of people think that's hype. I mean, overhyped. But I genuinely think Full Metal Alchemist, if you read it from the manga and you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, you'll respect it more. And give me a second. Thanks, babe. See my wife got me some fruits in it. Gotta stay hydrated and stuff. Yeah, look at this cut into. I don't know what shape is this. A flower? Alright, what was I saying? Yeah, so watch this anime. And the reason I'm mentioning Arakawa's work, because Arakawa also utilized real life history, what happened to the Ainu people, into Full Alchemist. So I'm just trying to make a blatant statement out there that it's not a far-fetched notion to think that mangakas read history books. They read history books, they utilize religion, theology. Sometimes they come from their own, the most popular ideology in their country, like in Japan, is Shintoism, is Buddhism. And obviously that stems from Hinduism back from India, because they have a lot of similarities. So when you hear of Kishimoto's Indra and Ashura, where's that coming from? It's coming from Naruto, right? I'm sorry, it's coming from Hinduism and Buddhism. And then obviously when when Oda's speaking about the devil no mi, or there's a ideology where there's a deity like a sun god Nika. There's different theology just getting pulled up from the Norse mythology. We got the Abrahamic faiths, because devil is from the Abrahamic faith. We've got heaven and hell. You've got demons. All this concept is actually literally inspired, by these theologies. And it's not wrong to call this out. It's not a negative. It's actually it just shows how well read these mangakas are. It's not like I'm saying Oda just copying the Bible. No, I mean he's reading the Bible. He's reading maybe the Gitas and and the Vedas and all of these things, and trying to see what he can pull and to write a good story. That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes to make a good story with that theology, you have to incorporate real life struggle, and real life struggle involves history. What happened in the last 100 years. You have Hadi. I don't know if Demon of the Shadow Realm will pop, but I do want to go into that. I do want to cover it. Slime is banging, and Sid is working on a banger slime video, so it gives possibilities to cover these new mangas and animes that's out. Yep. Just some struggle. Shout out, he's a struggler. He said you should notice that Emu's devil fruit is written only as Akuma no Mi, not Akuma no Mi. Yeah, because I think a lot of people are saying that Emu has the original devil fruit. So every other fruit it was stemmed from that. And I'll get to what I'm thinking in a bit about that. So this stream, I'm going to focus on Emu entirely. We're going to break down Emu. We're going to break down all the theories that's popping up, from the Adam and Eve theory, Emu coveting the first fruit, the divine fruit that came from the tree. And after that, all the other fruits are it stemmed from the original. And the reason why he's afraid of the water, the lower realm, because it's closer to the water. And people are saying that, a lot of fans are saying that the closer he is to water, the weaker he becomes, and it becomes fatal to him. And because just like how devil fruits, they become weak underwater, but Emu's is like a scale. The closer you are, that's why he's living on the top, away from water, the highest point. But the lower you go down, the closer to water, he gets weaker and weaker. So we'll talk about that. So there's a lot to discuss in this stream. All right, guys, and I need you guys to allow me a Monday. Yeah, listen, if you weren't here the last stream, I explained. I did something called Umrah, which, if you guys don't know, me and Adil, we're Muslim. And we do this pilgrimage, we go to Makkah, and we do this thing called Umrah or Hajj. So Umrah is like a shorter version of Hajj. And after you finish with the pilgrimage, you shave. I went all complete bald. And my hair is growing poorly, man. And I need to get it shaped up. I didn't get time to get it shaped up. And it's growing all over the place. So allow me, alright? Salam Anis Ibn, I love your name, Anis Ibn Mendes. Surprise most. Bro, this stream, after this stream, they might, because I have a lot to say. I had to convince Sadia to add these things in. Look what I wrote, a big I went kind of deep into Emu in the last review, because Sid mentioned most of it. We talked about, I was mentioning I will say 2 Corinthians 4:4. Satan is in the Bible. Satan, who is God of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. This is literally Emu, right? Oda literally using this passage from the Bible to build Emu's character. Yeah, and I mentioned where Emu Emu always says, like, uses biblical terms from the true God, the King of the world, living in the Holy Land. You know, I kind of added this bit, being an ethno state for his chosen people. I explained that in a bit, what I'm talking about. Hey Siraj, you can pull up, man. Hey Siraj, I thought you're editing Baki in it because we got like a it's tough schedule in it. But yeah, if you're free, Siraj, man, just ping me in it and I'll pull you in, or just unmute and I'll unmute. Let me go ahead if you want to come in. Here you go. Just in case anyone wants to jump in. But yes, what's my opinion on Chainsaw Man ending? Look, man, there's a lot of negativity around that, and I mean, there's a lot to say. I think Harrison did a great breakdown in the last chapter review. I mean, the final chapter review, so you guys should watch it. But I got a hot take. I think after season 1, after Makima, oh, this is a spoiler. After Makima basically died. Technically, she didn't really die, but after that, after the first arc, it wasn't it for me, man. It wasn't it for me. And the ending is kind of yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Fresh Guy's like, do you think this form of Emu is actually the body of Nika, or this is what Emu actually looks like? Honestly speaking, I think the Emu that we see right now is not the person anymore. The person that's controlling the body is literally the Zoan. So let's say Nika is an individual. That's the manifestation of whatever is an individual. Luffy right now has his agency. Whenever he turns into Gear 5, he has agency to laugh, to say no. He told Kaido, no, I'm still Luffy. What are you talking about? When Kaido asked him, who are you? You're not Luffy. He said, no, I am Luffy. So Nika gives agency, or allows Luffy to have agency, right? Whereas I think right now Emu is in a state, yeah, where his zone is so in sync, yeah, where it's not even a zone transformation, it's a zone possession. And we know this from Vegapunk or Shaka. Shaka pointed out that once you synergize so much to your zone, the awakening takes hold of you and your personality is absorbed by the zone. Now I think it's to the degree where the zone has a personality of its own, and I'll come to that. It's a lot to talk about, guys. I'm just giving guys a breakdown of what I think. But yeah, okay, why Emu always says Emu wants and not I want? Because yeah, it comes back to what I'm saying. Yeah, it literally is because of Emu, the individual that's speaking. It refers to Emu as the demon, the devil Emu, like Satan, and also it's trying to replicate what the demon is trying to replicate itself as God. And again, goes, if you guys understand the Bible, I don't want to say I'm very learned on the Bible. I read the Bible. I can't lie to you. I read the Bible. I read the Old Testament and the New Testament. I read, and it's been a while since I read it from beginning to end. I read, so if you guys don't know about the Bible composes of the Old Testament, which is like the Jewish book, which is the Torah, and then the Jews basically have something called the Tanakh, yeah, which is like, it's an explanation of the Old Testament, which is not accepted by the Christians. The Christians take the Old Testament and then add on to it from the New Testament, yeah. So then you got Mark, Luke, and John, and then you got Corinthians and Paul and whatnot. And the New Testament, is the second half of the Bible, of the Christian Bible. Oda is taking bits and bobs from both, from the Old Testament and the New Testament. He's actually pulling things out. Like, you know how I mentioned 2 Corinthians 4:4 about, say, it literally says on the in this passage, yeah, Satan, who is the god of this world, which obviously it just is a biblical term to say that it's not really literally saying Satan is a true god. It's just trying to say is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. It's literally trying to say those who don't believe in the true God, which is the uncreated creator, Satan has taken hold of you and has lied to you and is deceiving you with the material realm. And if you go back to Emu literally does that. Emu literally says, how can we snuff out the light, the truth? Throughout the last 800 years, Emu has been literally snuffing out the truth, lying to his people and blinding the minds of those who don't keep faith of the old traditions, but say not traditions, but like the belief in like the freedom. So yeah, and then obviously Oda also picked out words like seraphim, ophanim, of the circular things we see around Emu. So let me come to that. Yeah, so we see in the end, I read the chapter already, I just didn't read this translation. But look, so see this circular thing. Oh wait, I need to show a double screen. This circular thing around Emu, that's based on the ophanim, yeah, and that's basically a wheel, which is an angelic wheel. And Rohit, can we just read, bro? No, if you want to see me reading the chapter, you have to go to the last stream. I already read the chapter. I'm going to be analyzing Emu. And like I said, I'm not going to, I might read it from beginning to end again, just to understand this trans. But it's not a chapter read along this time around. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Missy says zero knowledge of the Bible. It's not that Christ don't accept. They cherry picked that what we need to spread love and passion. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but like I said, yeah, obviously, Oda's not literally using the Bible as a foundation to his work. Oda's utilizing things from the Bible and merging your other concepts from obviously the Norse mythology, the Vedas, even Joy Boy, for instance, is from the word Joy Boy is from a base from a deity that came about I think it was the West Africa, the Caribbeans, when there was a lot of slave trade going on, and there was a character, yeah, where they would say spirit used to come and inspire the people, we're talking about the slaves, is to inspire them to smile and dance, and whenever they used to have the dance, they used to dance and sing to get out the misery. Imagine they're slaves, right? And all they can do is suffer, and now to help ease their suffering, they're singing and they're dancing and they're doing whatever they can to get out the misery. That was the embodification of the spirit of Joy Boy, and that's where it's based from West Africa. Now Oda is not saying, okay, let me just use the Bible and everything's about the biblically like representative of this Christian law of the Judaism law or any of the Abrahamic faith. Oda is utilizing things from these theologies, the Norse god like Ragnarok, Nidhog, you know, like Greek mythology, and even when you got like, so there's a difference between Greek and Norse. There's two different things. Like Greek you got all the sea kings, right? You got Neptune, you got what's that, Poseidon. These are from the Greek mythologies. And then the Romans. Trouble said don't go deep, bro. I'm telling you guys, I say it one more time, this stream we're gonna go deep. So please, if you wanted me to just read the chapter, and that's not what I'm doing this stream around, okay? I'm actually going to be scripting an Emu video explaining Emu's power, what we can expect, why Emu is afraid, why is he getting weaker, why did he bleed, like right over here, right? Let me see, he's coughing up blood. Now why did that happen, right? So we're going to explain that shit. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, let's go over the new trans. Let's quickly rush through this. Rose like, we're gonna do deeper. No, we're gonna go deeper. No, not like, listen, my balls deep in it. How weird can it sound? Alright, great Emu, did I hear that right? And Emu's literally speaking to them, and they're fearful about him leaving Marijoa. You don't mean to go to Albath, do you? Please don't do this. You mustn't descend to the lower world. Do not be so smug and secure. Do you think that the Holy Land can remain safe forever? Okay. So this is Garling saying this. And like, I think this is quite different from the trans we read. And honestly speaking, I can't lie. Yeah. And I said it last time as well. Him coming out and speaking against the Goddess Say, because he's the new member of the Goddess Say. The reason he's coming out and speaking logically, he's speaking rationally, because he doesn't have that. He's recently new. He doesn't have that connection of 800 years or maybe 700, 600 years relationship with Emu. He's been just the God's Night. Goddess Say for a couple of, like maybe just less than a month, yeah, or has it been a minute really? So yeah, and look, we know that's the fact because he aged, right? So even though he had the mark of Emu, I don't think he went past the second stage because he aged and became a grandpa. So one more time, he doesn't have that, and it's good for Emu to have soldiers like that because they can think rationally. They're not emotionally invested. And then he's like, Garling, with Shamrock's return, it seems the situation is quelled, but the lower world's plan to starve us out still continues. Dignity and power will not fill our stomachs. What can we do on our own? And he's accepting that, listen, we are in trouble. The freaking revolutionary dragons, they are doing shit, man. They revolutionary army, they made the move, and honestly speaking, it's working. Their plan is working. And I can't wait. Look, a lot of people say dragons are gonna pop in, and Sid is literally praying for this. His mouth is salivating, thinking about dragon dropping in Albath, and I think that's gonna happen. Because right now I don't see Luffy coming out of the situation they're gonna be in. And immorality is like, Emu is also called Nerona, which is likely reference to the Emperor. Oh my god, I did a deep breakdown about how the similarities between the two. Oh, I don't wanna. Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a bit. Yeah, let's just finish reading this, because there is more than a similarity between Nero. Because Nero, yeah, apart from the fact that think it was like, what video did I do about Nidhog? I did it like last video about the comparison between Emu and Nidhog, but there's more to it. Like, people don't know this. Nidhog had he completely did a little bit of a genocide against the Christians during his time. Yeah, there was a burning of his castle, that way, which he spent so much money on, and then he blamed the Christians. But and then a lot of them died, unfortunately. And a lot of people say that Nidhog, before he did that, he converted to, I don't know, it could be true. He became a Kabbalist. But let's read on. Okay, so don't be smug. Okay, with that, okay. What we need right now is the military might to keep the rest of the world under our thumbs. And then there's the former Navy headquarters. And at this current time, he gets calls from none other than Vegapunk. Or, well, you know, the freaking traitor. Darling, where's all the food? This isn't a very celestial dragony. Power plant, Labo phase, Marijoa. Oh shit, okay. I warned you about this, York. The Holy Land is under a food shortage. And one of the things that can break the siege is the Mother Flame. If you want to live like a celestial dragon, then hurry up and produce energy for us. But I'm hungry. This wasn't part of the deal. Needless to say, your original form, Vegapunk, is one of the rebellious force arrayed against us. Consider this a way for you to take responsibility for yourself. Ah! Why do I feel like York sound like a whiner, like complete loser? Okay. It's been one disaster after another, and it all started after the arrival of Nika. Is it coincidence or fate? Be that as it may, Great Emu, you should not leave Pangaea. We can send the Navy Admiral from the headquarters to Elbaf. Why? Yeah, this is a bit slightly different from the rules I read, so not too much. Okay, no, just count the numbers of situations we're dealing with right now. There's too much going on. Oh, Gandhi Sab, get a hold of yourself. Then we should head into the field again. This is no longer coincidence, Valkyrie. Arrogance, sloth, detachment, pride. Cast away these things at once. All is preordained. And then he's thinking back to all those moments which literally caused all the problems, right? Like, he thinks back to Rocks, then Roger, then Shirahoshi. Everything that's part of this predestined prophecy. Yeah, and I keep saying it's a prophecy. That's why on this chapter, the last chapter, I talked about this prophecy, right? This is a big prophecy, and I think everything was predestined because I said it last time. What was I saying? I was saying that Joy Boy foresaw Emu's defeat in this fight. He realized he won't win. And in this coming video, which I'm going to post on Wednesday, I explained how Luffy will get his Gear 6 and why it's foreshadowed, actually. And one of the reasonings behind him being an, I'll spoil it for you guys, only like a couple of hundred of you here. Luffy, I believe, is going to have an angelic power. So he's going to be looking like an angel. And I believe, yeah, if I go to the mural, I think the original form of Nika was an angel. Mural, One Piece. So, but let me quickly go on it. Oh shit, hold up, guys. Hold up. Okay, so basically, yeah, like I was saying, I do believe, where's the angel gone? There it is. Mural. Bada bing, bada bum. Let me get the actual mural, but this is not what I want. Mural. There it is. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up here, because oh, what the frick is going on, guys? Boom. Gosh, just to get one panel. All right, the reason I'm bringing this up, honestly, I want you guys to understand my my way of thinking, right? So I'm thinking that this is Joy Boy. So if you guys zoom in and you see the ark, I think this is Noah's Ark. You see an angel right here. In the first world, it says, within the earth there is a flame. People succumb to desire as they seized the forbidden sun. The slave wished and prayed. The sun god appeared. Now listen to me, yeah. They are all slaves. The slave wished and prayed, and then a liberator come. You know, Nika is the liberator, right? And then look at this. I think these people are all slaves, and then it goes to this scene where in the arc that we see, I genuinely believe this is Nika, the angel that's floating above the ark and telling people what to do. And I think the full manifestation of Luffy's fruit, because right now he can activate Gear 5 and he changes, he becomes he gets the awakening Hogoromo scarf, but I don't think he's in his final transformation. I think there's levels to it. You can enter the state, but right now it's like a gauge. The gauge is like his synergy level is not fully filled. It's like maybe 70% filled, and a lot of there's a lot of contributing factors that filled it to 70%, which is his mindset and his way of thinking, his will to liberate people. When he was in Wano, when he was in Wano, and he was fighting Kaido, Luffy literally, firstly got killed, and when he was in his death doors, all his will, all his energy and his thought process went to saving Tama. When he did his final Bugdrum gun, yeah, what was it? He said, I'm doing this for Tama, so Tama can eat like an ordinary person. I'm doing it for Momo. So he was thinking about the people that he wants to liberate, regardless of if he wants to save people or he sees himself as a hero. He doesn't, I get that, but he literally has that in his heart. He wanted to liberate his friends so they can just eat food and be normal. That is the will of Nika. Nika is literally the manifestation of that will. So his synergy level literally hit all-time peak, and then his heart beating in an irregular pattern changes physiology. It activated the form that we know as Gear 5. But I think there's a whole level to it. So now he's at Gear 5, and the gauge is probably at 70%. Once he keeps on experimenting with his body and doing all of these moves, he'll eventually get to how the original Nika should look like. And I do think is a freaking angel. So Talk said Joy Boy is a god. How can an angel be above him? So the concept of a god, the word god, yeah, really and truly, let's be honest, it's being utilized in a way where it's to describe power. Yeah, it's to describe a thing that people pray to or worship or ask for help. Now, obviously, we know like the actual term God or the highest of all. These are like even like in an anime term, these guys are not God. Like Emu's not a god, even if he might have a god for you. Joy Boy, the Nika is not God literally. Yeah, if you God like as in like the uncreated creator, the one who creates everything, that's not the type of God we're talking about. So when it's angelic, like even if you go back to the Bible, yeah, if you go to the Old Testament, there was a certain group of people that believed in God, and they were part of the the Jewish race, and they were very close to God. They were called the sons of God, yeah. And sometimes they were say God literally says in the Old Testament. So the God of the Old Testament, which is Yahweh or Elohim, he said, "Ye are Elohims." He said it to the very pious peoples at that time. So gods can be utilized in different manners. Now, I think having angelic power doesn't mean take you away from the fact that he has a god fruit. Like Emu has a god fruit, but he's a devil. You get my point? So, and the reason why I'm saying there's a parallel and why is a foreshadowed that he's a god, let me show you. One Piece. I think Skypiea is the answer to everything. Firstly, Skypiea introduced us to the Joy Boy dance. So when we go to let me see, One Piece volume 27, cover art. Yeah, I think this. Not this. This literally here actually. So a lot of people don't know this, yeah, but some people should know. It's been 2 years now since Joy Boy. The term Joy Boy was actually inspired by Joy Boy African dance, yeah. By this. Oh look, see this one. People said it. Look, it's Caribbean mythology of West Africa. A lot of people even read it. They actually went over it. This person over here. Shout out to whoever this is. Lays around. Look, look at this picture. So this picture over here. This is people saying this is related to Joy Boy, and it kind of makes sense because the drums he beats is at first it's linked to slavery. It's linked to wishing for freedom, and the dance and the drums. It's just too much of a coincidence. Now this scene and Joy Boy, it goes back to one of Oda's favorite scene, which is in Skypiea, and it's called the Moonlight Dance in Skypiea. Yeah, Skypiea, One Piece. Yeah, let me show you this scene. I think I can get a picture of this. Yeah, there you go. So this scene, Oda literally said this is his favorite scene. Yeah, let me show you guys. This scene happened in Skypiea, right before the before the fight with Enel. So there's a big. The reason why I'm trying to mention Skypiea so much, because I think Skypiea is a foreshadowing what's gonna happen in the final arc against Emu. Skypiea, literally, I'm telling you now, yeah, is a parallel. We have Enel, who claims to be God. He literally is the God in heaven. Yeah, he strike down anybody. He has his followers, which is like he was the God's army, and then you got Emu, and Emu got his followers, the God's knights. Then you got Enel's close companions. They call the priest, and I think there were 4 of them. And I don't think shout out to Chase. I think Enel's in the moon, and he's gonna play his own. He's gonna have his own little effect in the whole grand scheme of things. But I think Enel's duty was to show that parallel, because remember, Oda always does like before the 2-year time skip. He's paralleling each of the arcs he made. So I think Skypiea is going to be a parallel to the final arc. Now, as I was saying, Enel also had this close four compadres, which he called the 4 priests. And what do you got? We got gotta say the 5 goddesses. With Emu. So there's a big comparison between Emu and Enel. And this form over here, this dance was a foreshadowing to Joy Boy. Now, I think the final form will be this. This is it. This is the final form. Yeah, oops, where is it? Can you see Luffy with wings? Why did Oda draw my guy Luffy with wings? Now, why did he do that? I know it's a homage to the fact that he's in Skypiea. Everyone has, the Skypiean has wings. But I feel like Oda loved Skypiea so much that this was he's working his story backwards, and he's going to incorporate that within the final form of Luffy, and Luffy's going to get angel-like wings. Another reason why I believe this, because I don't know if you guys know, I called Nidhogg maybe a month or 2 before Nidhogg got revealed. Yeah, so if you guys don't believe me, let me pull up this. Let me find this out. Yeah, I called it out. Yeah, I said this is going to be Nidhogg, and I'm going to give you why I'm mentioning this right now, because the reasoning of the way of the logic where I got to that conclusion, yeah, is because I understand how Oda operates. Yeah, so let me quickly find that tweet from I think it was a couple of months ago. It was like a month or 2 before the actual revelation of the Nidhogg fruit. I'll prove it to you guys. Yeah, let me show you guys the tweet so you don't think I'm chatting shit. Yeah, because this is important, because once you understand how I got to that conclusion and the prediction, how it came literally word for word, it came true. Yeah, what I was saying about Nidhogg. Once you see it, oh wait, boom, and then you're gonna see how I'm coming to this conclusion why Luffy's final form will have wings. Now, look, I might be wrong in the end of the day. I'm not perfect with this, with the predictive ability. Like I said, it's ball zoom observation hockey, but come on, man, I'm a human being, man. I can't really see into the future, you know. But oh yeah, there it is. I done it. I found it. Yeah. So let me show you. So look at this. Look at this tweet I put out. You guys can check the dates, guys. Look, December 27th, 2025. Find out when that chapter came out about Nidhogg. Yeah, find out. Yeah. Now listen, guys. Look at my logic. I said this is Nidhogg. Yeah, this is how Nidhogg looks like. That's what I said. And this is one of the fears of the Albath kids. They basically, these are all the fair apparitions of the Albath kids, and this is Nidhogg. And I said Loki's gonna look exactly like this. He's gonna be a dragon. That was my idea, yeah. And I put a tweet out in December 25th, like a couple of days before, and I literally explained this. Look, he's saying Nidhogg. This is my tweet. I said Albath legend described Nidhogg as a lightning dragon. Killingham manifestation matches the purple dragon from the Straw Hats cover art. Yeah. So I said this manifestation on Nidhogg matches this cover art, which I'm gonna get to in a second. I said Loki's official hair color is purple, so I think he's gonna be a purple dragon. I said Ragnar is gonna be the Skrull, and I literally called this out before the Skrull happened. Yeah, because if you played the God of War game, it's a sick game by the way. Played God of War. Yeah. Ratascore reminds you of a Skrull, and he has the power of lightning. It comes from lightning, so the lightning doesn't come from Loki. It comes from the Skrull. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. This is before the revelation happened. Now this is the original tweet I was trying to make, and why everything circles back to cover arts, and why cover arts are very important. This is before the revelation of Loki's fruit. I said Oda is actually cooking with this. Loki having the Nidhogg Zoan fruit was foreshadowed from the start. Nidhogg is a serpent-like dragon that lives underground in hell. I gave some loads of like backing. Yeah, beneath the world tree, and we know Loki was exactly where Loki was chained up. Loki literally states he will destroy the world, which is a reference to Nidhogg part in Ragnarok. Even Loki being born with a serpent-like eyes feel like pointing him towards the devil fruit. And then I pointed out on this cover art, and I said, look, why is this character, this giant ass dragon, flying with our squad? Why is that? Like, it just makes sense that this is going to be Loki. Yeah. And again, check the dates. I'm telling you, I said it a month or two before this happened. Yeah. Now, same logic applies. Go back to Skypiea, which literally my guy Oda said this is his favorite arc. And I proved to you that in this arc, Joy Boy was foreshadowed with the dance, the moonlight dance. And now we got this Luffy, and he has wings. Like, he has wings, guys, right? Now, I'm gonna add. I'm telling you, the final Zoan transformation, he's gonna have wings. Another reason why I think is very important is because Luffy. Have you guys noticed? A lot of the times in the cover arts, he's always closing his left eye. Why is that? Why is he doing that? Like chat. Like, don't you think? You might think I'm just overthinking it, but come on, chat. Yeah, those aren't real wings. I'm saying Oda's trying to give a hint. Like, if you go back to the actual moonlight dance, that's not really Nico dancing, but it's just an indication that, look, Oda likes this right before the final fight against against Enel, the oppressor, the partying, they're having fun, and they're dancing to hype things up. It's a foreshadowing. Foreshadowing doesn't have to be literally Luffy gaining wings, my guy. Yeah, come on. This isn't literally. If you go back to the cover I was mentioning that predicted where's it gone? This isn't literally Loki. Come on, Loki's fruit isn't exactly looking like this dragon. I said that the tongue is like Loki's tongue. I mentioned there's a lot of similarities, and I gave a lot of points. But this is not the final image that we see of Loki, right? But I'm trying to make you understand that there's a foreshadowing, right? There's a foreshadowing that my guy Oda's doing. He's writing things up, and he's giving a not a clear and transparent indication, but it's subtle. And that subtle indication, you have to read between the lines. Just like I read over here. Like, this isn't Loki. This cover art happened a long time ago. Yet my guy is literally looking like Loki. Loki has a big ass tongue coming out of his mouth. He's a purple hair, purple dragon. He's a dragon, bro. It's like, it wasn't hard for me to freaking decipher. I'm just saying, right? And there's a lot of thematical points that links Loki to the Nidhogg. That's why I mentioned this. But just like that, yeah, I'm just saying this: the wings, Enel and Emu are 2 and 2. Literally, Enel is I would say, not just parallel of Emu, but it's the foreshadowing of Emu. In a small place like Skypiea, there's a person that's trying to be God amongst his people, who's saying judgment is his and his alone. He's literally killing people from the sky because he believes he has that power. With his observation hockey, he is in tune with his electricity, and he can hear everything. Emu literally is playing the same role, but in the grander scheme. Emu and Enel they're literally the same. They even have the same hierarchy. Emu, Enel. Beneath them, the priest, the god of Say, the god's army, and then you got the god's knights. Yeah, come on, just be. I don't. How is this not like transparent to you guys, brother? Come on. All right, so now you see the comparison between Emu and Enel. Now the way to defeat them will be similar too. How did Luffy defeat Enel? It was the natural composition of his body. He was made out of rubber, so when Enel tried to strike him dead, he's just like, it didn't affect him because he's made out of rubber. The same logic applies. Luffy will beat Emu because it'll be a natural deterrent. It'll be the opposition. Electricity, rubber, boom, the opposition. Now, logic applies that if the devil has a devil power, Luffy will have an angelic power, a divine power, yeah, that neutralizes the devil power, which is angelic, yeah, which is like a form of how do you say it, divine. And I'll tell you another, and I'll come back to the eye, why the eye is important, but I'll tell you another point. When you go back to the Bible and you got the strongest angel apparently which in the Bible, it's called Archangel Michael, right? So the Archangel Michael, if for you guys who didn't ever watch Supernatural and who haven't read the Bible, he has a weapon of choice. Most of the angels, the warriors of angels, the archangels, they have a weapon of choice, and it's a sword and a shield. It's a flaming sword and it's a shield. Yeah. What do we see Joy Boy? If we go back to the actual mural, what is Joy Boy holding? A sword and a shield. My theory is that Joy Boy didn't manifest 100% of Nika's power. This is Nika, he's an angel, he has wings. Like, I keep saying angel, I just want to mention that obviously it's not literally an angel, it's a being, a divine being with wings, yeah? This, in the first world, near the boat, yeah, has wings, yeah? And, Chase, shout out, man, getting me back on track. Now, this is literally what I want to discuss, because I'm going to make an emu video, and I'm probably going to end the stream in another hour, max. So, like I was saying, so now that angel is the full manifestation. Now, Joy Boy over here, when he's fighting in this world against Emu, he didn't fully manifest. He just was able to pop out a sword, pop out a shield. You can see the scarf around him, but I don't see any wings. Yeah, the reason why, I think he hasn't fully manifested, and that could be one of the reasons why he lost against Emu's full manifestation. Now, I want to come back to Emu because I want to talk about different theories. Emu literally thinks back to all of the people that was predestined against him. That's why he cut off the pictures. Shout out to Del. Yo, Yusuf, I completely understand what you're saying. I love Skypiea, and it's had so much foreshadowing that people don't understand. I'm telling you guys, yes, much. Skypiea is literally going to be how the final arc is going to play out. Let me quickly munch on this. Another point I wanted to mention, that the way Luffy defeated Enel was through literally natural, being just himself. He just a natural deterrent. Likewise, Nika is a natural deterrent to Emu. Devil angels. Remember that, yeah? A false god. And the term is this terminology. The false god that he's enforcing his belief on other people, is enforcing his rule over other people. Nika. Yeah, the people who actually worship for freedom. You get it? There's a parallel there. And Emu, to understand Emu, you have to understand Enel. Anyways, we go back to this. He's thinking back at the prophecies, and he's thinking why he's angry at Lily and what happened with Vivi. It all began long before this, and he's thinking about all the way back to Joy Boy's time. Okay, here's another. I don't want to digress, but here's another point I wanted to add. My way of thinking is that Emu, again, the mirror is very important for this. Emu is the devil from the first world. Yeah, you see this little demon over here. Yeah, so it says the earth god grew furious, and with that the hell flame serpent enveloped the world. Now I don't think the earth god is a bad person. I genuinely don't think that. They don't say it clearly in this world. I think within the earth there is a flame. People succumb to desire as they seize the forbidden sun. Now it doesn't say explicitly, but I think this is Emu, the devil or Emu. You can't see my mouse actually going around it, but I'm saying, you know that little bird on top of the tree? That's not a bird. I believe that's Emu. A lot of people think that's the dragon, that's Nidhog, and that's a serpent. Yeah, I think that can also make sense. But my way of thinking is this is Emu in a weird position, and then when you see in the second world when he's fighting against all the like Luffy and the giant and Emmet, this is him in his Zoan state. Yeah, this is a person has eaten the fruit. So what I believe is Emu was an actual creature. So the devil is an actual creature. Yeah, he is the manifestation of people's greed and all of this evil around the world. And after the first world, basically went through a cataclysm. This entity, like a lot of other things and belief system, survived because it went into the wish and prayer got absorbed into Sunlight Eve, and it formed a fruit. Yeah. And that fruit, yeah, it survived the zones, the manifestation, the personas. They were in the zone fruits, and then after 800 years in the second world, they were eaten. And Emu di Nerona, he fell upon this fruit and he ate it. And unlike the Liberator, he literally got possessed. The Liberator would never possess anyone. So when Nika was eaten, Luffy literally had agency throughout his time as Nika's host. But with Emu, I think Emu literally got taken by the devil. So the moment he ate the fruit, he got manipulated and taken by the Zoan. And this that we see on the far left, with the wings, this is Emu. That's how I see him. Ali is saying, isn't there an angel above Joy Boy? Yeah, but I don't think that's angel, that's a Lunarian. And we know that because it looks like there's a flame on top of it and there's angel wings. So I don't think that's an angel. I think that's just a Lunarian. And we know Lunarian did exist 900 years ago, and they were the inhabitants of the Red Line. sorry, they live on top of the red line, and they used to respect the tree, and I think they used to maybe be the caretakers of the tree. When Emu got into power and he finally manipulated the 20 kings and took over the world, he completely expunged. He did a genocide on top of the red line, so there's no Lunarians left anymore. I genuinely believe that. The crown figure in the first world is an emu. I think the crown figure in the first world is basically a king. I don't think it's emu. I think it's a king. People say it could be emu, but I think it's a king that is being manipulated by the devil. Emu Nirona, I think he's from the time of Joy Boy. And this first king that was manipulated by the devil, yeah, it was not as the fruit. I don't think the fruit was formed yet. The fruits formed only after the first world ended. The fruit formed, in my eyes, and the way I see it, is because there was a tree, and the tree is the sunlight Eve. And just like the water can take in the wishes of people, the water spirit, and make a actual living creature like Mary and the Cloud Baltaman, literally, if you love a ship so much, if you give it care, the feelings and love for that ship is taken in by the water, and the water spirit can form a actual persona, which is Mary. We know that, that's a fact. This principle applies to swords. When you craft a sword, your haki and your love and your will and your intent can form a personality in the sword. Yeah. So that's why you got Emu is a different personality from the Wado Ichimonji. These personas are created from people. I'm saying in the first world, very simply, there were actual Zoan manifestations, not powers or devil fruit powers, but actual manifestation. These creatures, they died in the first world. They got literally, the world ended because of the abuse of the earth, and it went through there's a volcanic eruption that happened, and it created the red line. That's my understanding. And when that happened, the world there was a smog in the sky. It became very cold. People had to survive in different ways. They had to adapt. But whilst this was happening, people were suffering, and they were praying, and they were trying to ask for help. And the tree, because of the cataclysm, it probably evolved to take in prayers, and it formed devil fruits. That's how I see it. And one of the first devil fruit it formed was the intense desire by the devil itself, on the you know, the devil that's causing all the pain to the world. That devil literally manifested into the fruit. I think that's the first fruit. And then when later, 800 years down the line, when Emu Nirona ate the fruit, that devil from the first world got reincarnated per se, or was able to come back and take hold within Emu. That's my interpretation. It's not obviously canon, but that's how I see it. Okay, so I don't know if I explained that well. I think I might need to break it down in a video, which I will in the next video. How I see Emu. But let's come back to the chapter. Chat, let me know if I confused you guys, because that probably did sound confusing. I need to illustrate things more on it's probably better edited. Where's that panel gone? There it is. So remember, this is the first. I don't know if you guys can see it. Wait. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna illustrate it better when I do the video, so you guys can. It'll be broken down properly. Okay. So DPTR, shout out to you, brother. I agree. I feel it parallels to Fire Force, with the evangelist being the manifestation of people's despair, like Emu's devil fruit and Shinra being the hope of humanity. Luffy, bro, I'm telling you, I don't want to say these manga cards copy each other, which I don't think they do, but they do get inspired. Like, you can't tell me, yeah? You just can't tell me. Come on, man. The Oda didn't want that episode of Dan and say, you know what? I want to add that in. Like, come on. Let's go to this last panel that we see over here when Emu manifests itself. I read the chapter, guys, so I'm skipping ahead. If you guys haven't read it, please read it on Viz. I haven't read this translation, though, but it can't be that different. So let's go to Emu's summoning. When Emu summons, boom! Look at this freaking crazy, man. When it's animated, it'd be mental. It pops in, and then everyone's like shocked. But look at the houses. The houses, everything comes to life. Yeah, so let's write this down, yeah? So, yeah, look. There's another reason. Why is the house coming to life? Yeah, why are the houses? Why are things? Why are inanimate things coming to life? And I'll tell you why here. I'll tell you what I think of, what I cooked up in my head, and you guys can tell me if I'm smoking some grass or something. Yeah, coming to this conclusion. I think there are souls in the world of One Piece. There are souls in the world of One Piece, yeah? And I'll tell you why. What's the clue to this? Brook. Biggest evidence is Brook. Brook died. We know Brook died, guys. Everyone can agree with that. He died, but his body that ate a devil fruit gave its power, gave him his soul, the power to come back. So where did but remember, guys, time probably works different, but there was a time where his soul left his body, and then the devil fruit power activated and he couldn't find his freaking body, and it had been his body had literally turned to bones. Like, think about it like this. Imagine you're dead, you starved to death here, and he starved to death and his soul left his body. If it didn't work in a way where he instantly came back to life, he had to find his body. And because of that, he was looking for his body, and that took time, and his body turned to bones. So that shows you that his soul literally went somewhere. His soul literally went somewhere before coming back. Yeah. Another reason, shout out to Heezy, Big Mom. Big Mom, you're right. That's another reason. I want to break that down. We know Big Mom has the power to, literally take people's soul as payment. Yeah, can take people's lifespan. Yeah, by splitting their soul. And get this, with her own soul, she can give life. That's very important, guys. With her own soul, she can break part of herself and then put it into inanimate objects. Yeah, remember this. Inanimate objects into inanimate objects and give life. I.e., she calls it the homies. Bro, she has her homies in it. Say nothing. Alright, so she can do that. That's important. Now, another reason why I think, we believe in what if, okay, so ST say, what if Luffy is Joba from the past, maybe reincarnated, and the reason why he was shocked because he was recognized the Haki. Reason why who was shocked? You mean Emu? Please clarify that, my guy. DP saying, I definitely agree with Emu Nerona being possessed by a devil. Thank you, my guy. But I also believe the devil was cursed by the forest god, paralleling the devil fruits themselves with the sea. Yes, that's a great point, and I think you're right. I'll come to that, and I think you're definitely right. The reason why devil fruit users are hated by the sea. Yeah. Why Emu? I think Emu can't literally be near the sea. Be close to the sea. Sea needs to be high, up, away from the sea to avoid death. Let's come back in a second. I do think there's a look. We know there's an entity called the Cloud Bounterman or the water spirit. Can we agree to that, right? How the frick did Mary come to life? That phenomena is literally given to us right in the early chapters of One Piece. Yeah. So life can come into existence. Yeah. Via the haki and emotions of people. This matters. Yeah. Okay. What happens? But what it gets processed through a spirit. Yeah. Now we can't explain the water spirit. So the water spirit, yeah. The water spirit takes in the love and then manifests the emotions into a personality. Yeah. Just remember that. But there's also the sword spirit. Yeah. I just want to make this point. The sword spirit. We don't know what processes this, but there's something that processes the haki and intent of a swordsmith whilst he creates a sword. Yeah. So now we know life can come in many ways. Life can come into existence, but they're not life like our life. They're life as in personas. Let's make that clear. We also know that. So we got one way, which is we know there's a heaven or there's a place where when someone dies, the soul goes. We know Big Mom, yeah, can take part of her soul and give it to inanimate objects, homies, and like for instance, we have what's it called again? Zeus, yeah, has his own personality, gains its own persona, yeah, and adopts certain traits from its creator. Okay, now we talked about Mary. Mary is another persona that was manifested. Mary. We talked about Emu. Not Emu. Sorry. What's the sword again? What's Zoro's sword, guys? I'm completely losing it. Wado Ichimonji, Wado Ichimonji, and Enma. These are personalities. Yeah. These are things coming into existence through not just the normal means of coming into existence. And then we come to devil fruit, the devil fruit phenom. Vegapunk's idea. The dreams. That's what I literally said. The dreams and wishes of people created them. Yeah, which again goes back to my theory that in the time of the first world, the world went through a cataclysm. Yeah, bro, look, it makes sense to me. I know people are trying to think too much here, but I wish I can illustrate this better. Let me quickly go back to them because there's just to clarify, the first world that we see the big giant serpent. A lot of people say this is a living serpent and is real, and this is the manifestation of the apocalypse of literally what's that called, the world serpent. Yeah, and it links back to Norse mythology. But I don't know, I genuinely feel this is just a freaking volcanic eruption. I know it sounds crazy because look, it got a mouth and eyes, and why is it depicted like that? But my guy, listen, don't the freaking people of Albath and the giants, they call the red line the giant serpent. They literally call it the giant serpent. And I know there's an idea that no, it is a giant serpent and it's sleeping right now. But then you have freaking holes in the giant, right in the middle of the freaking giant serpent that they call, yeah. There's a hole that goes through the bottom of the ocean to the top of it. Yeah, the bottom of the ocean where the sea people live. You got the sea kingdom, the fishermen people, is right here, right? And then right above it, there's a red line. But there's a big giant ass tree called the Eve tree that's going through it. That's growing right in the middle through it. And then Emu had made his base around the Eve tree. The Eve tree is literally in Emu's backyard in the garden. And that's literally going through the giant serpent. The giant serpent, if it's a literal creature, is dead. That's how I saw it. Hey, do you not get my point? So I don't think this giant serpent is a literal animal. I think it's like a story that's being told. It's a story that human beings back then abused the earth by taking its natural resources, and because you keep abusing the earth, the slavery is being done. There's a tyrant king telling his slaves, listen, we've got a big ass factory, it could be our world, it could be we're depleting its oil. And because you're depleting his oil, the earth became pissed. It's like, bloody hell, man, you're taking too much from me. And then it revolted. How? Not literally forming a giant ass serpent. It literally started breaking in half. And when it broke in half, a volcanic eruption happened. And when a volcanic eruption happened, but it's not like a normal small island eruption. It's like a cataclysm. That when the earth opened, the eruption shot out the earth, and when the magma flew to the sky, and it started looking like a freaking serpent. Because when you get like a burst pipe, and a pipe burst, and the water comes through the little hole, doesn't it? It floods in like a minute. It comes all over the place. You get my point, right? So when that happened, the volcanic eruption went straight to the sky, and it literally covered the earth in literally fire and smog. But as it went all the way around the earth, it dried. It eventually dried and created the red line. That's how it happened. That's my interpretation of the freaking first world. I hope you guys understand it. You guys understand my point? And that's why we see the fire, because it's hot. And we see this dragon, this is Emu, because it represents the cause of this is because the Emu, the freaking evil devil piece of shit, he caused it with his evil desires and over consumption of the earth resources. It's trying to show that the flying little bird thing that you see is the cause of this freaking retaliation from the earth, which is the serpent. Yeah, so the serpent is not a real freaking snake. You get my point? It's just a volcanic eruption. That's how I see it. It dried. It was so big. When it dried, it formed the red line. And when that happened, yeah, but the tree that was there, Sunlight Eve, was so strong and protected. It was so strong and protected, it didn't melt. So that when the magma flew, it literally swam around the tree. So the tree didn't really get like completely destroyed. It literally enveloped the tree, and it formed around the tree, and then you got the earth. Oh man, I wish I had a ball so I can show you guys. Let me see if I got a ball or something. Bloody hell, man. This is the perfect time to have a little like a globe or something. That'd be really cool. I don't have that. I have to use my guy's head in it. So, so imagine this is the freaking volcanic eruption that's happening, right? But then it falls down and it forms around his head. Just remember that, yeah? Remember that, yeah? That's an analogy I'm going with. And then, yeah, when it dried out, it dried into the red line. And then, but the tree, the Sunlight Eve, survived. And because of that, it didn't pierce through the red line. It literally, the red line, the magma literally dried around it. And then what happened was, because there's a giant ass tree going to the bottom of the ocean, which is Sunlight Eve, it created a habitat beneath it, because it's bringing oxygen from the sky, from the freaking sky, in it, from the top of the dried out red line now to the bottom. So the people that survived, they went towards this freaking haven, which now they made the kingdom. Ryuga Kingdom, we know is written, yeah, that they made not because they were there always. They did it because of the freaking Sunlight Eve. It survived because of that. So now you got all these giants back in the days here. They're trying to survive, and now they managed to swim underneath because of the ship Noah. They coated themselves, and now they're slowly adapting beneath the red line next to the tree. They're using the oxygen, and on the top of the surface, we're talking about like this might be happening 5,000 years ago. Yeah, it's freaking dangerous. Because after the volcanic eruption happened, smog took over the world. Look what it says. It says, in death and darkness. Look at this. And with the hellfire flame serpent, enveloped the world in death and darkness. And that's logical. Because when a freaking... Guys, if you guys know anything about volcanic eruptions, shout out to all my island people, because they would know. I'm not from the islands, but shout out to you guys. But when a volcanic eruption happens, it doesn't just come out and then it dries out. It comes out with smog. A lot of smog and soot goes into the air, right? Now imagine a volcanic eruption, unprecedented, an eruption so big that's enveloping the freaking world, the whole globe. Now when that happens, imagine the amount of smog and soot. It goes to the ears. Yeah, shout out to Hawaii, guys. But then you got all of the atmosphere covered in soot. It's all darkened, and now the sunlight can't come in, because like that's what happened with the Ice Age. Yeah, because people say the Ice Age happened because of the freaking asteroid that hit the Earth. It created an eruption, and then smog came in, enveloped the world, and the Ice Age happened because of that. So now we have an Ice Age. Everything's frozen above. There's no sunlight coming in, no sun coming in. The people on the surface are dying, or they're adapting. There's adaptation happening. Some people have to, like, some of the giants became the Yeti brothers. The ancestors to the Yeti brothers were probably those giants that lived on the surface. And the reason why I'm saying they're all giants, by the way, and I think giants were the first people, because think about it, a long time ago, we know prehistoric time, there were gigantic creatures. There was dinosaurs, there was megalodons, there was freaking animals that are massive, because the oxygen was richer. There was richer oxygen, there was less pollution, yeah? So I'm saying giants were probably one of the first creatures. Now the giants, yeah, some of them adapting to become Yeti brothers, some of them adapting or they're breeding differently. Some of them got deprived and became like smaller, like humans. Yeah, some of them went under ocean, and when they went under the sea, they start breeding with fish. I know it sounds weird, but start breeding with the fish people, and then they became fish people. Now this world, which is on darkness because of the Ice Age, eventually it melts away. Yeah, so look at this. The second world, within the nothingness, there's a breath. The breath. This is where the forest god comes into play. The forest god sent forth the devils. Now the forest god, yeah, is from the Sunlight Eve. I believe Sunlight Eve, and that's the essence. The devil itself, yeah, or the devil fruit that comes out of it, it didn't exist before this. The devil fruit happened in the second world and after. So the first world do not have devil fruits. That's why I'm telling you, Emu, or the devil that we see in the first world, is the epitome, is the embodification of evil, of greed, of men. And then that greed, it manifested into the just like everything else, just like how Mary got form, just like how sword got personality. That feeling and wish, desire, it manifested within the tree along with many other fruits, but that was the first thing because it's the strongest desire of evil people, and that manifested the emu fruit, which could be the devil fruit, the first fruit. And then, but that wasn't the only fruit. I think other people wishes and desires, like the jacket no mi, like weird fruits. Yeah, people wanted to wear a jacket because they're cold, or they wanted to survive in different ways. Yeah, or maybe a tiger, the species of tiger collectively wanted to survive, and they wanting to survive created the tiger fruit. Yeah, or maybe people believed in a mythical dragon will save them, and then that feeling of the complete belief in deification Let me increase my chat. My thing was a bit low. But my point I'm trying to say, guys, honestly speaking, yeah, the first world, the serpent is not an actual serpent. It's a freaking volcanic eruption. It enveloped the world. It went around the Eve tree. The adaptation happened. People start living under the tree because oxygen was present. 800 years went by. The tree itself, yeah, started taking in the belief and wishes of people. It grew devil fruits. Then the Lunaria people, the lunar people, the Lunarian people, they probably came from the sky, or they realized the earth was barren, and they came in. They started taking upon themselves to look after this tree and the power of the devil fruits. But eventually, the ancient, so my tummy is rumbling, the ancient civilization grew in different ways, and they utilized the fruits and different technology, maybe from space, from the moon. And then eventually, the devil fruit that Emu had taken and eaten, yeah, that desire to take over the world happened again. And then there's a big war, and then now we've got the present time. That's how I see it. And coming back to Emu, coming back to the question of what's happening, why is the trees coming to life, and why are the freaking houses coming to life? There's two ways I see it. Two things I see. There's one possibility that just like how there's a place where souls can reside, yeah, there's a place where dark, evil people, and even let's even call them demonic people, they reside, yeah, the evil, the despair people, where they go. And that could be like the shadow realm. Let's call it the shadow realm. When Emu did a dummy reversi, the dummy reversi, I think what it does is it empties the person and lets the persona, the literal entity, to hop into the body, the demons, literally. Because we know the biblical term, even in Islam, we have this thing called Satan and the shayateens. You got the devil, which is like Iblis or Lucifer, you guys call it, Christian call it, and then Lucifer has his minions. The minions, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The minions, when Emu does dummy reversi, the minions take hold of the body. But I think over here, what he's doing is, because he's in his awakened form, his minions are coming into existence and jumping on inanimate objects. That's one way to look at it. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. So literal minions, yeah, from the pit of hell, from the abyss, coming up. Yeah, and instead of is my mic really low? Oh shit, let me quickly increase my mic. Is that better, guys? Oh, I know why, my bad. Here, I fixed it. Alright. There you go. Technical difficulty. Anyways, like I was saying, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so it could either be the minions that come from the abyss taking a hold, and because there's no dummy reversi, there's no people to come into to possess it possessing houses and trees and whatnot. Yeah, the second I'm gonna write this down actually. Yeah, let me write this down because I need to do this for the video, which you guys are supposed to be helping me with. That's why I came on stream, because you guys can give me ideas. So you guys keep giving me your thoughts and processes, and okay, so I like Heezy Man said volcanoes can happen from plates shifting and releasing magma. The use of ancient weapons could terraform the planet, causing these eruptions. I agree, but I genuinely think it's because they had a factory that's literally called there's something called fracking. We do it in our day and age. Fracking for oil. We literally go to the middle, to the bottom of the sea, and we start drilling that shit, yeah, until we can find the oil, and then we can suck dry the oil. I think the world in the first world was literally, there was a machine. And we can see it over here. I don't think it's to do with the nukes they had. I think it's this machine. Look at this giant ass machine, this factory. It's literally fracking. It's fracking the earth for oil. And for fire. Look, you know when you burn oil, it's like fire, bright. It burns so brightly, yeah. So it could be like the earth's energy coming into like these little things. They're fracking for oil until the earth becomes abused so much, then it literally causes this eruption. It could be. That's how I want to think of it. Yes. Okay, so Shri Shanta said, I have a theory. Man marked by flames will come to Albath and will save the Straw Hats and Albath. Yeah, good. I wanted Dragon to come, to be honest. Imagine Dragon comes. I thought the man marked by flames could be freaking what's his name again? Gaban. But yeah, we still have to wait for him. But let me come back to Emu, because I need to do this Emu video. So Emu is creating making the houses and trees come to life. One possibility is summoning demons, yeah, from the pit of hell, and they need a place to reside. Wood is from life. Wood is from life. We all got to agree with that. So they can possess it. Yeah, wood come from trees, and trees, trees have life, and that's why it's wood and trees. Yeah, houses are made out of wood and trees. That's one possibility. Second, I think it's hockey. Oh, Zeno said it. Yeah, so hockey. Now I think it was hockey. His hockey is so immense, yeah. And the reason why I was thinking it was hockey. Shout out to Zito because he mentioned that. I just saw that comment. The reason why I was thinking it's hockey because it goes back to what I was saying earlier about these phenomena. The Medi got formed through the love and emotions of the Straw Hats, and the energy went into this the water spirit, which formed the Medi, right? The Medi persona. But the emotions and love and all these bullshit words they're using is literally just hockey. It's hockey. Honestly, it's just hockey. Everyone has hockey, and same thing when it comes to what's it called again? When it comes to the sword, when the swordsmith is bashing on his freaking sword trying to make something, he's putting his will. The will of the swordsmith is going into the sword. He's feeling a bit hockey. And same thing with devil fruits. That's why a long time ago we made 5 years ago or 2-3 years ago we made a video that hockey is what created the devil fruits. I literally said the Sunlight Eve absorbed the hockey of the people back then, and they utilized the hockey to create things. And I think what's happening here with Emu's such insane hockey is so powerful. The residue and the intent, the hockey releases intent, is absorbed, and because it's so powerful, it comes into life. It gets a persona. So hockey, yeah, it's so hockey. Emu's hockey is so powerful. Yeah, accumulation of 800 years or 900 years worth of hockey. He is in his full Zoan form. Yeah, this unleashes this hockey. This unleashes hockey. Yeah, without reason. The hockey comes to life and needs a medium. So again, same theory. It possesses houses and wood object because it has life in it. So that's how I see it. But I think it's hockey. Yeah, just to add to that. So it could be two. It could be literal demons from the pit of hell, or it could be literally hockey. The reason why it's as demons, and that's a possibility, because when we go back to chapter, let me open up. Let me go back to chapter 1177, I think. Let me show you guys what I'm talking. Look, when my guy Chopper, which I believe he has God fruit, 100%, he smacks this guy. He doesn't punch him, he smacks him. Can you see? There's a shadow that gets scared and is detached from the actual person. The shadow has a different, like it's literally peeled away. It's the peel. Can you see? It literally, my guy Oda literally wrote peel. It peels away, and then he goes down, and then it flips. It reversed it back to get his original soul. Now this is the actual entity, so that's what I'm saying. It could be like it's from the pit of hell, and it came and is possessing the houses and the trees, or it could be the hockey coming and manifesting. My guy definitely went DDD. Look at that, dun 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 dun. This is the sound of oppression that's popping up. But this is some Soul Eater type of shit right here. But yes. Okay, so here to you, my guy said, I think he's just a reverse of Luffy's devil fruit, or combined or multiple devil fruits. I think there is a duality. I don't think he's the combined. I think it's literally just the devil. He has the devil fruit. He has the devil fruit, the Akuma no, and Luffy has the opposite fruit, yeah, which is a god fruit. And I know people are gonna say the devil and God are not on the same level. They aren't, yeah, because I mean, depends the idea. You have to realize that Oda's using the word God as not as the literal God, right? Every religion, yeah, when you think about God, yeah, and obviously especially monotheism, right? When there's one God, there's only one God, right? And he's the uncreated. It's not referring to this uncreated God, yeah. So especially when Oda's coming from a Shinto background, Japan Shinto has a lot of deifications, things. There's many gods in their mindset and their ideology. So their God is just the manifestation of worship, yeah. Especially if you guys watch Noragami Noragami is a really good anime. You guys should watch it. Noragami is a concept that, and it's very, very common in Japan. Yeah. And there's another anime called Natsume. I forgot the name, but it's basically when something is worshipped or there's ideas that flows into it, the energy that you give to it, the worship or whatever, it gains the thing you address the worship to. It gains power and like it becomes bigger and bigger. Yeah. Obviously, I don't believe it's not real. It's like I don't believe in that. It's not real, but like. And that same thing with JJK. JJK, for instance, when you have Natsume, that's it, my guy, Krenna. So that's the same concept when there's entities or when there's gods they believe in. Noragami and Natsume, they do that same concept. When you believe in it, when you worship it or you give worship to it, yeah, the entity becomes powerful. Yeah, it becomes bigger. It grows in power. Yeah, and that's how deities grow. And I think what Oda's doing is combining that with the fact that Nika, there needs to be Nika when he rose for in Gear 5. Think about what happened. Just think about it for a second. Firstly, let's go back to the first world. I don't want to. I can't tell you this analogy unless you understand the first world. What the frick is it? In the first world, it says here, the slaves wished and prayed. The sun god appeared. It's that same concept of the Shinto concept there that Oda is trying to stem this from. He's merging different theologies. The Shinto concept is that when you believe in something, when you wish for something, that wish manifests into something, right? And what's happening, and same thing with JJK. JJK, when you have a dark, depression and all these evil thoughts, the evil thoughts manifest and then becomes curses. So the negative can apply. There is two parallels there. So what I'm trying to say is this. I'm trying to say Nika rose and he came into existence through the wishes of the people back then, the slaves and the oppressed. Now just think back to Wano. What happened when Luffy got freaking one shot by the CP agent and he's dead basically? What was happening back then? This was a big raid. Everyone was shocked. They said, no, Luffy can't die. Luffy's dead. Oh my god, Luffy. And Momo's like, no. Tom was like, no. Everyone was like, no, I don't believe he's dead. I don't believe it. And they were praying. What were they doing? They were praying. And he wasn't the only one praying. What were the people of Wano doing? It was a special festival that was going on. They were sending out lanterns into the sky. And in the lanterns is a form of prayer. Yeah. In the lanterns in Japan, what they used to do, and they do it now, whenever there's a special occasion, you write what you want to wish for. You wish for like a New Year's, or you write what you're grateful for of the previous year, and what you want to wish for the following year. So that's what they were doing. They're writing down, wishing for liberation, wishing for food, wishing for things that can be answered by, something that's deified. So remember, Oda's like utilizing concepts from the Shintoism, from Buddhism, and again applying Abrahamic faith law into this as well, like the devil, angels, and so on, so forth. Yeah. So when the prayer was basically given, Luffy was in the basically death doors. His heart's moving and pumping and literally going into a very low frequency. His devil fruit is attuning to that frequency. He comes into Nika can start pumping his heart. Boom, boom, boom. The call, the liberation happens. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Drums of liberation. But so on and so forth. And then the prayers comes into existence. And just like the first time Nika came into existence, the time when Luffy's turned Gear 5 is the same logic applies. Prayer made him come into existence. Why is that important? Because it brings us to Emu. Now, Emu, look what he's doing, yeah? Life can be given through haki and belief and system. So life is the same. What he's doing, his haki and his energy that's being expelled from him is literally creating life. Yeah? And that's why all of these things coming to life and they're humming and chanting, it's not coming through his heart, Emu's heart. But this song, this song of oppression is literally the call of the devil. I know it sounds kind of scary, but this is the call of the devil. Yeah. Don da 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 and da 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 da. There's actually a meaning behind that actually. Like in Japan, I covered it in the DDD video, but it comes from something that's scary and airy. Yeah. And we go and then he comes into existence. He finally comes. His haki is the thing that created it, I think. I don't think it's because of the abyss coming into existence. It's his haki. Because the first thing that pops in is his haki. Can you notice? Everything that's flooding in is the haki. But then again, you can see like a abyss around the castle. So it's both his possibilities possible. So my guy, Emu comes in. Now he's coughing. Now let's come back to why. So we discussed. We already come to the conclusion. There's two possibilities why things are coming coming alive. Yeah. So the one of the lightning bolts hit Zeus. I don't think it did. Hiryu did it. So Zeus is here. I don't think it did. Why do you think it did? Let me go back. Zeus is basically getting rid of the fires, and I don't. Oh wait, no, it didn't hit Zeus. It didn't hit Zeus. Zeus is safe. He's safe, guys. Don't worry, we got Zeus. All right. All right. So we covered why those things are coming to life. Yeah. So let's cover that because I have to break that down. So the video that I'm gonna do, if you guys want to know how I in my head how I plan videos or how I script it. So I make points. Like my first point of contention is explain the world of One Piece. The world of One Piece. So there'll be Emu's true existence. Yeah, the devil, where it came from. The first world, the second world, the current world. Yeah, i.e. the third world. So that's how I'm gonna start the video. Well, I'm gonna break that down, explain the worlds of One Piece and Emu. Okay, the powers of Emu, / devil. So in the third world, when I explain that, the current world, second world, I'm gonna talk about how Emu Nerona got possessed by the devil, by the persona of the devil. My proof will be Shaka from chapter 1059. I forgot the chapter. Let's find out, guys. You guys are basically seeing how I do scripts. Let's find out chapter 1059. Is that it? I might be wrong. No, that's not it. What chapter was it? 10:1. Bloody hell. I need to go back to the beginning and find out the chapter. Guys, shout out to the chapter where when Lucci was fighting Luffy in Egghead Island. What chapter was that? Let's see if I can find it quickly before you guys tell me. Yeah, let's see who's faster. Chat or me? Boom. I think it's gonna be. Oh, it might be. I think it's 10:69. Let's see. Oh, my guy Andre, what a legend! Thank you for your donation. Oh no, he's a Wizard King. Thank you for the Wizard King, my guy, my brother Yusuf on a solo mission here. Much love, ABD fans. Shout out, brother. Thank you for that. Join, guys, join. And okay, look. So this is the chapter. I think this is the chapter right here. Yeah, I think it's 10:69. Is this it? Oh, I think I got it. Guys. Yep, I got it. Got it, guys. Got it before you lot. All right. So this chapter, is where he turns into Gear 5, and we got Shaka. Is it here? I think it's right here. Oh, is it this one? Oh, I could be wrong. Oh no, I was right. So it's right here, yeah. So Shaka here. Where is it, my guy? Am I wrong? There it is. There. Found it. It took me time, but I got it. I knew it was a chapter. I got the right chapter, right? All right. So basically, this is what Shaka says. It's usually, okay. So Chase, how do I remember a chapter like that, bro? This is our job, man. What do you mean? We freaking live this shit. We have to know chapters by the back of our head, especially when I'm scripting. I can't be like, I have to think it back. Anyways, it's usually the case that awakened Zoan powers absorb and control the user's personality. Think about this. My guy Vegapunk ain't stupid. He created his own devil fruit. He created I can't lie. Momo, I know it's a fake ass devil fruit, is an artificial fruit, but Momo is a fully fledged dragon. It worked. And the reason why he said it was a failed because it's pink. It literally worked, alright? So he knows about devil fruits. So him saying it's usually the case that awakened zone powers absorb and control user personality. This matters, guys. This is so important to understand what he's trying to say. He's saying there's tears to, we know there's tears to awaken users. When he synergize with the fruit, but Zoan awakened users not just synergize. The more you use it, the persona of the Zoan freaking hops onto your body and takes control. Yeah, but look, his powers absorb and control. It's not just like your personality change. It controls the freaking user's personality. Now, hear me out. By the way, this chapter is because Monkey D Luffy, his X23 is asking me 1069. Yeah. It's 1069, and I'm reading what Shaka said over here. I'm not chatting shit, guys. Look, whenever I mention my theories, I always look. I can't lie. I think there was a comment on one of the last videos. I want to address this. I might read some comments. They said, "Oh, because I mentioned last stream that listen, we got a lot of things right. I got the Nidhog thing right. I got the Rata score. It's technically Rata score. The hammer, the scroll hammer, right. And I said it like literally 2 months before the reveal." For those ones, I said the emu having a devil no me. I'll tell you when that was. You guys can see it live in it because YouTube is like a little history book. Yeah, the YouTube is like a little history book when I mentioned that devil, emu, ABD. Yeah, I said that like just 10 months ago, but no, that's ages ago. I'm talking about ages like 3 years ago. That's 10 months. That's the clip channel. No. I'll tell you. I'm showing you which video which I talked about it was. Yeah, which in depth. I have to go to the actual videos. Let me just do this. Anime balls deep. Emu devil fruit. Okay, there you go. This is 2 years ago. Yeah. I think this is the video I spoke about it. I said he's the devil. He has a devil. The devil fruit. Let me double check. I got another video where I actually break it down.
Time ever, we were introduced to Luffy's final enemy, the de facto king of the world, Emu Sama, who remained a complete mystery until now, as Oda the
let me just see where I got to the fruit.
Is old polygonist.
That's the emu one. Oh, that's the thing. Let me go back a bit. I want to show you guys the fruit. It might be this one. Yeah. There might be that one. But we've got so much videos. I don't even know.
Revealed the most god.
There you go.
God fruit in One Piece, and it's an actual devil. What? Luffy's embodiment of.
Come on, I have to be proud of my work, man.
About to be challenged.
And I explained everything I'm explaining right now. I explained why is the devil and why it makes sense as the devil, and I said the same thing which I'm saying now, that there's a parallel between a god and a devil and a demon and whatnot. I said that even like 2 years ago. Yeah.
My Emu's devil god fruit. The parallel between the two is coming full circles, with chapter 1085 confirming so much. From number 1, Emu D Judas's age.
And just to point out, when I say Emu to Judas, obviously I still believe this. I think Emu, the Neurona, yeah, not the devil itself. It's still a possibility that it could be part of Joybo's inner circle. I still believe that. And the reason why I believe that, because Emu was very close to Lily, and that Lily betrayed Emu in the end. And I think also because the fact that Zunisha got tricked. Zunisha, we know Zunisha was close to the people of Wano. And I believe the master of Zunisha was Toki's dad. Yeah, the Amatsuki, how do you say it? Basically Amatsuki, whoever the head of the Amatsuki clan was, and that's Toki's father and Momo's granddad. The reason for that, and I bring logic behind it, is because we know that Momo is the person that can command Zunisha. Zunisha was waiting Momo's command. When they went to when he came all the way to Wano, he asked Momo, give me the command. Momo is so important. Not the Odin clan, and then do you know why we know it's not Odin's lineage? Because when Odin went to, is my headphone messed up? Yo, what's happening with my headphone? It broke, guys. I'm broken now. What can I do? I can't afford a replacement right now. Bro, it's hard times, man. It's the freaking the oil price is going up. Things are hard, alright? Don't judge me. So what was it saying? So basically, yeah. What was I gonna say? Momo's father. I mean, the reason why Momo can control Zunisha and can give Zunisha an order is not through Odin's lineage, it's through Toki's lineage. The reason I know this is because Odin literally went on top of Zunisha. And he could hear Zunisha, but he wasn't able to command Zunisha. He couldn't talk to Zunisha. Zunisha didn't wait for Odin's response. This is during his time with Roger, by the way. But we know Momo literally is, the master of Zunisha. Okay, so he said, Hani said he's not the real master, he just can tame. No, when I mean real master, obviously the real master was Momo's granddad. Yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah. Mono. Okay, Momo. I get what you're trying to say. So why can he tame it and Luffy couldn't? Luffy spoke to Luffy was able. Oh yeah, another thing is Luffy was able to understand and hear Zunisha, but never speak to Zunisha. Even when Jack attacked Zhao, when Zhao was attacked, he couldn't take orders from Luffy. He had to take orders from Momo. Do you guys not remember that? Why? How come then and there only Momo could give the orders? Why? And the reason why I'm saying it's got to do with the Amatsuki clan. His mother's father was the actual, and we know Toki was from 800 years ago. She was from the time of Joy Boy. Her father told him, gave her a prophecy to make sure the borders of Wano was opened. Along with obviously Odin found it out from, how do you say it, from Laugh Tale, but still. Toki's father, Amatsuki, whoever he was, he is the master of Zunisha, and there was a circle there. I think the Amatsuki clan, Vivi, Joy Boy, and I think Nerona, Emu were all part of this circle. Yeah. And that's why I keep calling him Emu de Judas. Not literally his name's gonna be Judas. I think one of the comments literally told me, said, "Oh, you said his name's gonna be freaking Emu de Judas. His name is Nerona." I'm like, bro, we knew his name was gonna be Nerona ages ago. When Ivankov said it. Ivankov literally mentioned we knew his name is Nerona like maybe 2 years ago. I was never saying his name is Emu de Judas. It's like me saying Buggy D Clown, or it's like me saying, what else I say? I say crazy shit. I'm not literally saying Buggy. His name is Buggy D Clown. I'm saying he could be a decline. That's my indication. That's what I'm trying to allude to. I call a lot of people a lot of things. You know, we call Dragon Deadbeat Dragon. His name is not Deadbeat Dragon. Like, come on, put two and two together. We're saying that because he's the deadbeat. You know, although he kind of beat the allegations, but still. But you get my point, yeah? You get my point. I'm not trying to say his name is Emu de Judas. I'm trying to say he was once part of Joey Boy's gang of Circle, and then he might have betrayed him. It could be because he done it purposefully, because of he wanted Lily, or whatever reasons he had, or maybe he ate the fruit and he felt like he'll get power, but the fruit took hold of him and absorbed his personality. Look at this. It says it's usually the case the fruit, the awakened zone power absorb and control the user's personality. That's what Shaka's saying, and the reason why I think the devil fruit, the original devil fruit, works differently than every other fruit, because it's a fruit of oppression. So if it's gonna oppress other people, why wouldn't it oppress the host? Think about it. Like if you eat a devil fruit, wouldn't you be oppressed first and be tricked first? Why would the devil itself in the fruit feel like, oh, let me work alongside a human being, or let me work alongside this being? The Zoan itself, it's two ways you can go about it. That Emu Nerona and the devil in the fruit, they had the same will. They had the same ideology, the same will, the same desires and whatnot. Stop lying. Ain't no way Usopp is so good. Exactly, bro. But yeah, you get my point, guys, yeah? So that's one way you can look at it. The devil and Emu Nerona had the same like personality, and they got drawn to each other. That's how every other zone fruits work. Or that the fruit, they did have the same personality, but the zone fruit itself, it absorbed Nerona's personality. It took over him, because it's a fruit that does that. It's not a liberator. Like the difference between Luffy's fruit will be Nika would never ever impose its will on Luffy. It just goes it's contradictive. Because imagine if Nika's take over Luffy's mind. Yeah, isn't that oppression to Luffy? He's oppressing Luffy's personality. And that goes against what he stands for, liberation, freedom. So, but if the devil is the oppressor, why wouldn't the first thing he oppresses is the host? And we all know the term, you made a deal with the devil, right? So when you make a deal with the devil, it's always a bad deal. You get what you want. You get what you want or you ask for, but you get kind of duped. And that's how I see it. I think like in Nerona, Emu got duped. Yeah, and it might have been part of the gang. It might be part of Joy Boy's gang and part of like New Lily, whatnot. It could be nothing like that. It could be another, like Lily was part of their gang and Lily betrayed them for Joy Boy. It could be that way as well. I'm not saying this is a fact. This is just my way of thinking. Anyways, coming back to the video, what I'm trying to work on. So now let's cover Emu's power. We talked about how his haki is so powerful, it brings things to life. And we mentioned how we saw that with Mary, and we see that with swords. So this is a very, very plausible point. Now let's come back to this. Okay, let's come back. I'll come back to the powers in a second. Let's come back to why Emu is coughing up blood. Yeah. So one possibility. Okay, let's get one. Closer to water. Yeah, to the sea. But the reason why I'm kind of skeptical about this reason, closer to water, which makes sense because it has original devil fruit, yeah, is hated the most, and hence is weaker as it gets closer to the bottom of the world. Yeah, but the reason why I'm kind of skeptical about this is because Emu plans to flood the world, and if Emu plans to flood the world, wouldn't the water rise anyways and become closer to him? So argument, guys. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I don't know. I'm actually trying to ask you guys for a bit of let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah, so I'm gonna come to that. That's shout out to Hani. That's the second argument. So I'm gonna say the ancient war got beaten badly by Joy Boy. Joy Boy is body is damaged, so cannot fight. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Summoning himself takes a lot of haki. Another argument was that he has the same sickness that Roger had. He has the same sickness that Roger had. Too much body cannot handle the amount of haki he has. Haki grows with time. However, my theory is that Emu, or Nirona Emu, the devil forced an Ope no Mi user to give Nirona Emu immortality, so it could control, so it can stay in power. Finding another host would have been difficult. Okay, Hani say, I think he's suffering from a curse caused by Joy Boy. Yeah, that goes back to ancient war, and maybe Joy Boy put a curse on him. Maybe angelic curse, like divine. It goes against divinity. Wait, let's write that down here. So cursed by Joy Boy and Nika's power. Yeah. That's right. That could be a possibility. But I don't know. How can a curse? The reason why I think it's kind of hard to say curse. The reason why I find it's hard to think is a curse, because curse is annotated to devil or demon or like something dark. Yeah. Like, oh, you got curse and negative energy. Yeah. Something negativity. Luffy, yeah, or Joy Boy having the power to curse someone. I don't know. I don't think that's even plausible in my eye. Honestly, I don't think it's that. Yeah. Like, I mean, you can say it was attacked by divinity, like pureness, and because of that, it left him damaged. But I don't think it's cursed. You can't say it's cursed. I think the sickness thing actually has some plausibility. Like, his body's getting weaker. But yeah. But we know that I think his body is 900 years old because of the Ope no Mi surgery. And Ope no Mi, yeah, can give anyone eternal life, right? The curse could be a punishment. But again, we're talking about Liberator, right? Nika, the Liberator. Why would he even have a power to curse? You get me? Like, the way I see Nika is, it has to have the power to free. Like, you know how Luffy exhibits his power? This is pure chaos and freedom. Like, the eyes are popping out because the eyes want to be free of the body. The tree becoming something imaginative, like a baseball bat. Because a tree doesn't need to be a tree. It can be a freaking baseball bat. You get me? So cursing somebody is like restriction. You're harming in a restrictive way. And why would he have that power? So I don't buy that. Yeah. Okay, so Hiryu is like, I think maybe of the mortality surgery, his body is locked in a single state and he does not heal from any damages. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I'm gonna put that in. Shout out to Hiryu. I like that. Body cannot heal due to the surgery. Yeah, I like that, bro. Shout out to Hiryu. I'm gonna screenshot you and I'll mention that. I like what you said. I like you guys are cooking, guys. You guys are cooking here. Yeah, we gotta make this video peak. All right, so screenshot you. Boom. Okay, got this. All right, so next, so can't heal because of surgery, and this is my understanding. The surgery happened because the devil, the devil took. Imagine the devil, like, yes, I got the perfect host. This Nerona emu, this dog, and it makes sense because there's a theme here. Emu is a dog of the devil. The goddess is the dog of Emu. Think about it. The gods' knights are the dogs of the goddesses and Emu. The navy are the dogs. You know, they got the dog in it. The dog in the name. They're the dogs of the goddess and the government. The navies are basically the bottom of the dog in it. Everyone's the dog of the higher up, which is the devil. That's how it works. Yeah. And I think what happened was that because the devil took over Emu's body, it's like, yo, if Emu dies, I'm gonna be rejuvenated into another fruit, and who knows who's gonna eat me? If some random Tom, Dick, and Harry eats me, it's gonna be a difficult mission. So I need to enforce this body doesn't change. It can hold me for such a long time, and as I grow, the body's hockey will grow. The body will, it'll die. It probably knows about that, right? So it needs its body to be immortal. So it forced the Ope no user to give Nerona Emu's body immortality so it can save power. Now, another reason why I want to say this theory makes sense. Someone mentioned on the chat, that why does Emu call himself Emu? Because just like when Harold was taken over, have you noticed? He changed the way he spoke. He starts speaking in like the goddess says. Harold starts saying, "Oh, for the great great Mu." I have to go back to it to show you lot. Let me go back to Harold, So wait, I just proved to you guys about how devil fruits. But this is a proof, guys. I'm not chat shit. You saw how Vegapunk literally said that they absorb and control the user's personality. It's not me making it up. Now let me go show you about Harold. I think it's 1074. No, it was a bit earlier. It was 10, maybe. Oh, sorry, 11. Oh, good God. It was 71. Yeah. Look at this, So basically, there's actually a chapter before this. Right before this, you can see my guy Harold. He's basically talking like a different person, like he's a goddess save. And I made a whole goddess save video how basically there could be good people and they later got possessed. The different levels of your tattoo, changes. This one changes personality. Look, he was so different. Now look what he says. It literally becomes like this. Wait, where is it? Oh yeah, there it is. No, he's still himself right here. There it is. There you go. No one shall escape to tell the tale of what happened here. Yeah. And look what he says there. He says this, but I am Harold, and I am now a vassal of the great one. When did he ever call Emu the great one before? That terminology, I'm telling you, is utilized, but they gotta say the great one. It's because it's the devil that's taken a hold. It's not him talking. It's the shadow that's manifested in his personality and has a full position over his body. Emu is referring to himself as Mu because the person who's controlling him, the person that's in Emu, there's two people. There's the Emu, which is the Mu, which is the devil, and then is the Nerona, the personality who's a subservient at this point, similar to Harold, because he has the final tattoo. He has probably the fifth stage, which you can only give to one person. That's how I see it. I gave that point. So the devil is actually I'm coming to the full power in a bit. So we said it could be because he hasn't healed because of the fight, and the surgery made him into a put his body into a timeless state. And Joy Boy had injured him, and now he needs a new body, possibly wants to take over Vivi or Lily. I think he wants Lily's body. I think Sid made a good case for that. Body. But, oh, he doesn't need another body, because why would he want to? Because then he doesn't have the mortality surgery. It could be either or. I think the water theory makes a lot of sense. Him being cursed or his body being a bit busted can make sense. It can make sense. Okay, let's go to the second point, which I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Oh, another point. Let me quickly add another theory. Is that he can't go too far. Cannot go too far from the sunlight Eve. From sunlight Eve. Hence why the devil. Yeah, the devil killed the Lunarians in the first place. Because it had to be close to the tree. Close to the tree, which is the source of its true power. Yeah, that's another theory I wanted to add. Okay, so I might have to pick one, not all of them. I'll come back to which one later. Let's come back to the second point we're gonna make now. Okay, let's come to this. Alright guys, a lot of you might not like this bit of this segment. I'm gonna probably wrap this stream up in the next 15 minutes. But this segment I want to talk about the philosophy and the analogy Oda is trying to give us here, right? And oh, he said maybe he's weak to the sun. But why would that make sense? Because he's closer to the sun if he's on top of the red line, no? Maybe he's trying to revive Lily to start a ritual. Oh, come on, man. I don't know where you guys are coming from, man. I think the character that he's possessing, the devil that he's possessing, was down bad for Lily. So some of the desires the original host has is still there. Yeah, that's why he is so mad about Lily. But anyways, let's come to this the power bit again, because the powers of Emu, the powers of Emu. Now, I can't lie. I mentioned this in the last. So let's go back to the script that I was working on. Yeah. So let me quickly read this out to you guys and tell me what you guys think. It's in the chapter review. Sid mentioned pretty much all of it, but not the bottom bit. Let me read it out and you tell me what you guys think. So we talked about this, yeah. So this is what I wrote, yeah. This is what Sid worked on the script, yeah. And he just added a bit, not all of the things I was trying to write. So let me read it from the beginning what I was trying to say. Okay. Once Emu arrived in Elbaf, he enters into the full Zoan transformation of a devil, with Oda literally dubbing it the Akuma no Mi, the devil fruit. This is exactly what we predicted 2 years ago. I showed you guys the video, and everything is now falling into place. Emu's devil is the antithesis of Luffy's Nika. Instead of drums of liberation, he gives out a more chaotic beat, the drums of oppression. His very existence and haki has changed the environment in Elbaf. Like Luffy's Toonverse, where he makes his surrounding bouncy, rubbery, funny and goofy, Emu does the inverse. Everything becomes creepy, Halloweeny, demonic, as if Oda picked it out from Soul Eater. The trees and houses get possessed, coming to life, humming and drumming and singing in their own twisted joy. This is reminiscent of Big Mom's homies, again reaffirming that Emu's power can summon the demonic spirits or souls of hell into the world. Dummy reverse, he empties their body so these souls can slip in. That's my first original point, yeah, but now we discussed it. I think haki is also a possibility, yeah. So, haki bringing, or giving life to objects. Yeah. Let's keep that, because a lot of haki was dispelled into this. The Oracle of Fishman Island said the mirror in the third world also depicts Emu in the water, so I think it's sickness. Let me see this. Let me see the mirror again. I think you're onto something there. I don't know, because can you see closely? I know this is the tree on the corners, but I don't know if it's directly the water, because they're just trying to say that people are shipping towards fighting this creature. It could be that he's on the red line already, and he's close to the Sunlight Eve, where he's the most powerful. I don't know, because this boat over here means the people that joined forces. All right, okay, let's come back to this. So I said, yeah, over here, Emu grows wings and he blows up Oris Castle. He flies on top of a building. This imagery is very intentional. Okay, so this is, guys, you guys are gonna call me a nut job here, but this is what I really believe in, guys, and I'm just using the same inferences I've been using from the beginning. As the rooftop Emu lands on, it's shaped as a pyramid. Like, you can't tell me Oda didn't mean something by this. You're telling me, yeah, Oda meant nothing by this? Look at that pyramid. some reason, yeah, out of everything, he drops in the freaking top of the pyramid. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know I was saying it last stream, and you guys were calling me like a tin hat, full hat guy. but listen to the logic here. Yeah, listen to the logic. This is what I'm trying to say. Because Oda, okay, this is important because I'll get to why in a bit. Because Oda finally reveals Emu's face and fully awakens Zoan form. Okay, forget about this bit. But most importantly, he is the devil. He is the devil himself, the full manifestation of his own black cloud surrounding him, along with the similar awakened Hagoromo cloud scarf. But instead of a normal swirl, these clouds contain eyes embedded within them, resembling the multi-eyed design of an ophonym. If you guys don't know what this is a many-eyed angelic wheel. This fits the devil's zone perfectly, as the biblical narrative describes Satan as the fallen angel with his hatred of the children of Adam. Yeah, and this is the Bible verse I put out. Satan, who is the god of the world, god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. Yeah, considering Emu constantly uses biblical terms like being the true God, the king of the world, living in a holy land, being the ethnos, and now I'll come to what I mean by ethnos state. Ethnos state only for those chosen people, his soldiers, and okay, let's break this down. But I think this is very important, and why I think Oda. Okay, this is where I might get cancelled here. I might get cancelled here, but I have to say this. Look, this is what I think. I think Oda is utilizing the political environment that everything is brewing right now. Yeah, Oda, think about what he did. He made there's 20 kings. Now from these 20 kings, yeah, they're not all of them are bad, by the way. You got people like Vivi. She realized what they were doing was wrong, and then she revolted. You got later down the line, you got Doffy's family. Yeah, his father left the kingdom. Yeah, so they're not bad. They're not bad inherently. They're just raised to be bad because of the environment they're brought up in and the entitlement. Yeah, the 20 kings. And the 20 kings later become celestial dragons. Now I'll tell you why it's very important in a bit, yeah, where I think this concept is kind of stemmed from. Now, yeah, unfortunately, we know when I say chosen people, you know what I'm trying to refer to, right? Because in the biblical terminology, again, I'm not talking about what's happening in the real world, I'm talking about biblical terminology. We know that there was God chosen people, right? There's God chosen people, and you had one person who was very close to God, yeah, Abraham. Abraham had children, and he had a grandson. His grandson was Jacob, yeah. His grandson Jacob had 12 kids, the 12 tribes. Now these 12 tribes, one of them was called Judah. Okay, you guys are Judah had many kids, yeah, and there's a whole people from this tribe, and there's 11 other brothers, yeah, the youngest being Joseph and the second youngest being Benjamin, right? Now, yeah, these are 12 tribes of Jacob's lineage. Now later down the line, yeah, we know throughout the Bible, some of these people they start believing in the wrong things. They start doing some pagan worshipping and whatnot. Yeah, start worshipping cows. They have to get prophets after prophets coming to them, so on and so forth. The Bible says it. Yeah, this is the Old Testament talks about it. And then later they get unfortunately enslaved, and then there's the pyramid, the time of Egypt, right, where there's deities that's worshipped like Ra, Baal, and the Horus. I'll get to why they're all important in a bit. I get to why this is important, yeah? I get to why. You might think this is, wow, Yusuf, where you going, bro? You're going into some conspiracy. No. Oda is telling us something. Oda's cooking here, right? So now, I talked about how there's people that believe in good. They're good people, yeah? They're doing good things. They're following the God's laws, which is good laws. But slowly they become corrupted, right? They start thinking that their lineage is important. Their bloodline is important. These 12 tribes, yeah, later down one Pacific tribe, they start raising themselves as a higher status. They're chosen people, yeah. They are the chosen people, and they need to live in a holy land, right? Their holy land is picked out by God themselves. Their God, the holy land, these people now, they picked out the land, and now the land is theirs. They already said, no, this is our land, and everyone around us are nothing but certain type of they are the others. Yeah, let's call it the others. The othering of people. If you're not within us, you're not part of us. If you're not from us, you're just another person, just others. These people, we are the light to the Gentiles per se, right? This is in the Bible, right? I'm not saying anything. I'm saying what's in the Bible. The Jewish people in the Bible, yeah, the children of one person, the many children, they are the light to the Gentiles in some sense, yeah. And they have to teach them the right way, the good way, right? And slowly, I'm saying they got corrupted, yeah. There is in the book, they got corrupted, started doing bad things, and then we know the New Testament came. Jesus comes and trying to say the Pharisees don't even listen to the Pharisees don't even they don't practice what they preach. So they're doing things which are wrong, and they're trying to preach to other people. So now there's a whole theology in the biblical narrative. There are a lineage of people. The lineage, they hold themselves highly. They see other people as the othering of people. They want a holy land, and now they believe the holy land is given to them. And now they did a complete ethnic cleansing to get this holy land. Now let's compare it back to One Piece. Now you got One Piece. You got Emu, and then the special people that fought alongside Emu. Them and their lineage. What they do? They ethnically cleansed the Lunarians. We know the Lunarians. We know Marco mentioned the Lunarians in Wano, that the Lunarians once were people that lived on top of the Red Line. What happened to them? King said, "My people were extinct. They got wiped away, and then we knew about Joyboy will come back one day and liberate us." Right? This is literally the Lunar people. The Lunarians, got completely ethnically cleansed, and then the Red Line, what became the Holy Land, was taken over. Yeah. Look, can you not see the parallels that Oda's doing here? And you might think, oh, it's just a coincidence. I'll come back to it. How the one coincidence, okay. Second coincidence, I don't know. The third, fourth, fifth, seventh, 100 coincidences. Now you're taking a piss. You're telling me that Oda's like, he's trying to tell us something, man. Now you got Emu. You got the special lineage of people that's living in the Holy Land. They see the other people. You know how Shanks' brother starts speaking to the freaking the normies outside of the Red Line. They start saying these guys are just insects. These guys are insects. They're worse than animals. If you go back to right now the geographical political situation, when you go to some of the statements, some of the like the war criminals they make, they say these people that we're attacking, doesn't matter, women, kids, all these guys, they're all the same. They're all the worse than animals. This is literally them saying it out the mouth. I'm bringing politics into it because you can see the parallel here. God Valley. What happened with God Valley? The ethnic cleansing, the culling of God Valley. The same approach is taken on in our day and age. What's happening in the Middle East, in a certain geographical location. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, you're bringing politics into this. Yusuf, this happened after Oda made this God Valley incident ages ago. Look, this incident that happened recently unfortunately what's happening in Gaza, this has been happening for years. It's been happening since like 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, and forget about Gaza. Yeah, even like when you have the same mindset, like you got the people of the Ainu people. The Ainu people's race was that completely wiped away because of who they were and who they were. How do you say it? They're descendant of. Yeah. Then you think, what about Japan and China? China literally they look down on certain type of Chinese people. Like I think it's Han, and like the concept of looking down on certain races is very prevalent throughout history. Just because it's happening right now doesn't mean they couldn't get inspired from it from different avenues and also utilizing this. Okay, so now coming back to my comparison, how Emu, that's why I call him Satan Yahoo. So Emu comparable to Satan Yahoo. You've got the chosen people, celestial dragons, right? And now I tell you where the Navy comes into play. The Navy are not bad. The Navy, people think, oh, Navy are just, the government is bad, the government is a dog. Look, the Navy are not bad people. The Navy are just dogs, and they follow the celestial dragons and the government and the ruling of Emu. Now, Navy is comparable to our world power right now. The Navy, if you think about it, is actually, how do I say this without getting flagged? The Navy are basically the US, us. Let's call it us. The Navy is us, if you get what I'm trying to say. Us, and they are the comparison of that. Navy has the military might, the power. They got the admirals who have insane devil powers. In our day and age, the power belongs to the West. The West has the power. Us has all the power. They have all the best technology, the best Navy, the best everything, and they follow the instructions of the Celestial Dragon, right? The Navy follows the Celestial Dragon. Us follows the Celestial Dragon in our day and age, in our time. So there's a parallel here. So you got, that's what I'm trying to say right here. Yeah. So one parallel is Emu, Satan Yahoo. Yeah. Satan Yahoo, below them you got Celestial Dragons. You got the chosen people. The chosen people control us, and the Celestial Dragon controls the government or the Navy. Now, again, Navy's not bad. I'm not trying to say us is a bad place. It's just like they're just governed and controlled by the higher ups. And then there's another parallel. Other parallel is going to be, apart from them having all the power and whatnot, there was sick parallel here between our day and age. Yeah, the military might, we said that. We said us. Okay, then you got, now you're going to see this crazy. Now coming back to the latest chapter. the way they keep controlling, so us, yeah, you know, the country us, the way they keep control. Oh, the NATO. Okay, let's talk about NATO. So then you got NATO, a group of countries coming together, and they basically feel like they have power and control over the world's economic, and they make charters, they make all of these policies in our world in day and age. But guess who has the veto power? Guess who has the power to say, oh, you guys came to a decision. Oh, that sounds nice. Okay, press the veto button. It doesn't matter what you say. Guess who has that? Us has the power of saying that. And guess who us follows? Us follows the celestial dragons. Yeah. You guys get my point. Same thing with the reverie. The reverie, the kings come together. The reverie is like comparable to UN. The kings come together. They have to pay the heavenly tribute, yeah, to us per se, to the government, to the celestial dragons. The UN does the same thing. The UN has zero power in the real world. The UN have power like it's like a facade, so they can feel happy and just follow the laws. But really and truly, they have zero power. The real power belongs to us, who follows the celestial dragons. So the celestial dragon has power. Satan Yahoo has the most power in this pyramid. Now come back to the pyramid. I told you the pyramid, the hierarchy, it goes from us and all the way down to the UN and the normal people. Why pyramids are important in this, apart from the hierarchy, is because this system that's happening right now, us being controlled by the country, us being controlled, which is the Navy, being controlled by a chosen few people, the celestial dragons and Satan Yahoo. The reason why this happened because over the centuries, there were the slow control. It's called soft power control. Yeah. Now the soft power control, which happened, yeah, it happened in One Piece too. Emu was slowly getting rid of information. He was destroying anyone that's linked to the Void Century. He's destroying like information from Ohara, making things, banning research. Us, yeah, the celestial dragons of our time did that too. I'm telling you now. And also, just to add to that, the secret societies that people talk about, oh, this is just, they don't exist. The Illuminati, yeah, fine, they don't exist. Let's just say the societies that don't really exist, Skull and Bones, Illuminati, all of these things, Rothschilds, yeah, well, Rothschilds is a real family, by the way. I'm not making that shit up, by the way. All of these things, yeah, organizations and Illuminati, the symbolism, you're telling me, yeah, like Emu, my guy sitting on a pyramid, the dollar bill. I explained it, the Eye of Providence. Eye of Providence. Providence. This is Eye of Providence, guys. This is it. This is the Eye of Providence. Boom, boom, boom. The Trinity. Boom. There's an eye here. And I'll come back to that all-seeing eye while I come back to Emu in a second. And I said, yeah, my explanation is this. Yeah, this is the Eye of Providence. And see in the dollar bill. The dollar bill. The dollar bill. Yeah? Boom. It's in the dollar bill. Now, why is it there? Why is the Eye of Providence there? Now, what's it got to do with anything? It's got to do with Western Enlightenment. That's what people say. Western Enlightenment. Why is there a freaking pyramid? What's that got? The West has nothing to do with pyramid. Oh no, it's from the great thinkers of the past, from the Egyptian time. But they believed in all these deities. Like some of them believed in Baal, Ra, yeah, Horus, and some of them gave worshipping like the sacrifices, human sacrifices. Yeah, you can Google it. Yeah. Now, I'm not finished yet. Why Emu and his eye, the eye, it matters. You see the eye, this eye in his hand? I say he's actually blind, yeah, from his right eye. The right eye that you see, that's not the person, that's Emu, the human or whatever that became. He can't see. Just like when Cavendish, when you come back to Emu, you can see the triple iris. When Cavendish, let me open this up. Hakuba, Cavendish. Okay, let me get the actual zoom in of the picture. Oh, there it is. Look, I just saw it. Bloody hell, where is it gone? There it is. Look at this, guys. Can you see this double iris, the triple iris? Right? I'm saying the person of Cavendish can't see through this eye. Hakuba is seeing through the eye. Over here, Emu, the person is blind. He's actually truly blind, and the devil is seeing through those eyes. And this eye is the eye of the devil. The eye on his hand is the eye of the devil. So truly the left eye of Horus is the only eye, yeah, of this person. His right eye is blind. Even though we can see his right eye not covered, his left eye is covered, but his left eye is not covered because he's using the hand. The hand is his true eye. Do you understand? So one more time. So right eye. So this eye is actually his true eye. The right eye that you see is actually blind, even though you can see it. Now I'll tell you why that matters. Luffy also is drawn as an antithesis to that, because when you go back to this cover art, my guy's closing his left eye. Yeah, I know you're like, oh, you're going into some next shit. Oh, there's not that big brain, yeah. But Luffy, why is Luffy covering his left eye? Why? Why is that happening? Chat, tell me if I'm going crazy. Can you guys see that Luffy is covering his left eye? Why did Oda do? Oda did it multiple times, by the way. He done it in multiple different cover arts where Luffy's left eye is covered. Why is that? And there's a guys, and I'm telling you now, there's a biblical and even the generally Abrahamic theology about eyes. The right eye can discern things from truth and falsehood from truth. So you can tell who's like. You'll be able to. It's like a spiritual thing. You can see through the material and see into the spiritual. You'll be able. It connects to your spiritual self. The left eye controls. I mean, it connects to your material self, the desires of mankind, the desires, the nafs. How do you say it in English? The wants. You know, the things which can come into ego. But he's closing his left eye and leaving his right eye open. His eye of spirituality is open, but Emu, eye of spirituality, is closed because it's being possessed. It's got the triple iris on it, and the eye that's left open, or the eye that's actually his main eye, is the eye of Horus, which is the left eye of Horus. That's the left eye. It's not the right eye of Ra. It's the left eye of Horus. And now coming back to why this freaking this pyramid actually makes sense, and why it was all linked. The eye, the pyramid. Why it comes back to our day and age, and why Oda's getting inspired by secret societies, because it's trying to show how Emu operates. Emu, no, even within the UN, I mean within the reverie, no one knows there's a king on the empty throne. The idea is there. The idea is that the throne is empty. There's no one controlling us. We all have democracy. We are the true people, the UN people, the people in the reverie. We are the people who's making decisions. But in reality, there is a king that's in the empty throne. Just like there in our day and age, there is a force of power, a society, a group of people who are controlling things, yeah, behind closed doors. They're controlling things behind closed doors. Let me prove this to you if you don't believe me, yeah? You might, okay, I don't want to bring this whole situation into political, unfortunately, but because we're not a political channel, so I'm not going to do that. But I have to mention this because it's part of One Piece. Alright, so basically, guess how, yeah? You know, World War I happened. Let me show you what the Balfour Declaration, who made it, yeah? Look at this, yeah? Look, you know this whole thing that's happening right now, yeah? This whole freaking genocide, we compare it to God Valley, we say, I told you about the chosen people and the celestial dragons. Look, how was this created? This document, the declaration, because right at this point after World War I, that piece of land, yeah, was taken over by the British Empire, or the British government. Right? So imagine the red line got taken over by the government at that time. Yeah? But that piece of land was still in dispute. You know, if the people are gonna have it, the people that's there already is gonna have it. But this man, again, this is before World War II, by the way. This is before this is before World War II, before the idea of, oh, they went to go there because of being they had a fortunate incident that happened to them, right? This is World War I. This is right after, during the World War I. The Balfour Declaration is a public statement issued by the government, yeah, and it's a letter. It was a formally written letter by the Foreign Secretary Arthur James Balfour to who? To Lionel Walter Rothschild, yeah, and it's basically a leader of the British community, yeah, for transmission to the Zionist Federation, yeah. So basically, this is before World War II, by the way. This is before the idea, oh, they had to go somewhere. They needed to find a place to live. And what happened is unfortunate. But listen, this is World War I. And they basically got a letter talking about where they're gonna have a place to live here. And this letter that was given to this guy, Rothschild. Rothschild, he literally said, if you want his children, and there's an interview where he literally says, I'm responsible for the current state that we have, yeah. Is the Rothschild. And now Rothschild, why are the Rothschilds important? Yeah, you have to realize. I'm not trying to say Rothschild is Emu. I'm trying to say this is just a piece of the puzzle. The Rothschild, what Oda's trying to show, yeah, that the secret society that Rothschilds are part of. So you know when people say the Rothschild, the Rockefellers, and they always, like Jay-Z, when he goes like this. Let me show you. Jay-Z, Rockefeller. Wait. You know, the Rockefeller Foundations. You know, why do you think it's called Rockefeller Foundations? Why do you think Jay-Z and all of these people, yeah, are part? They're not Rockefeller, but Rockefeller. He's trying to take he's trying to hint on how much they worship and respect these people. And look what Jay-Z, yeah. He always does this, yeah. Come on, my guy Jay-Z does this, yeah. I'm not trying to call him out. Yeah, pyramid. He always goes like this stupid eye thing, yeah. He always does this stupid shit. Come on, you telling me, yeah? Why does he do that shit? Come on, why does my guy do this? Why? Not just him. A lot of people do this shit, yeah. A lot of the freaking artists, Madonna, all of these big, Beyonce, all of these people, they do the eye shit, yeah. I don't know why. Why they do it? Why they do that shit, bro? And what eye are they seeing through? They're seeing through the left eye, not the right eye. Okay, so remember I talked about the right eye, how Luffy is covering. The eye they are showing is the eye that Luffy chose to cover. You're telling me Oda didn't do that on purpose? Why is the Oda closing the eye that they always show that, oh, I'm going to show this? By the way, this is his left eye because it's obviously drawn in a way, but that's his left eye. We know that because of the mark is under his left eye. So the very eye that Oda freaking closes, yeah, is the eye that all these Illuminati people, they're freaking are opening up. They're opening up. Where is it gone? Bro, you guys think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you I'm not crazy. Every time they show, look, this is not one picture right here, another picture right here, the left eye, the left eye, left eye. And what did they say about Dajjal, Abrahamically? Dajjal's right eye, he's blind to his right eye. The Dajjal, the Antichrist, is blind to his right eye. Yeah. And these guys are always showing, oh, we're enlightened, and they're always showing the left eye of Horus. Yeah. That's how they're doing. This is not a joke, bro. This is real shit. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Okay, now forget about, okay, I'll move past this. Forget about all the celebrities and how they're controlled by and they're told, and you don't believe me, yeah? There's interviews, if you go to Vlad TV, yeah? There's interviews how celebrity, to go to a high level, they have to do some weird shit, compromising shit, yeah? To go past the door to get recognized. To make multi-platinum dollars deals. It's in interviews. It's not me, just Google it. Why do they have to make those freaking multi-platinum deals? I mean, some weird shit. They have to do some practices, and some of them are filmed. Why is that? Because they have to be controlled. There's a need to control them. Yeah, so the compromise, just like the whole special island. Yeah, I don't give a shit. And that's been man. I'm sticking out. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just a nobody, man. I'm not saying anything. I'm talking about anime. I'm talking about One Piece. All right. Oh my god. No, but I just want the last point I want to make, y'all, and then I have to go digress because I'm gonna mention this in the Emu video. And I'm gonna mention how Oda is definitely trying to draw some inspiration here with the eye, with the pyramid and the eye, and his eye of Horus, and whatnot. I'm gonna mention it on that bit, and I'm gonna compare it back to our real world and why did he drop God Valley when the freaking thing was happening in Gaza? Why did he drop God Valley then and there when the worst time? It was just the parallel wasn't in so far, man. It just made me feel like, look, man, I'm just trying to be real. I'm real with you guys. This is what I think, and you might think I'm a conspiracist. I'm connecting the dots here, and I'm showing you evidence. Like, I'm not just bringing out a thin air. Like, I'm showing you the freaking evidence. I showed you how this guy, the Rothschilds. Oh yeah, when the freaking leaks came out, when the Epstein leaks, when it came out, yeah. What did it say? What did Jeffrey say? Jeffrey works for who? Jeffrey. Yeah. Wait. Let me show you. Look at this. Jeffrey. Let me show you, yeah. This is not me. This is literally when the leaks came out, yeah. Look at this. Well, read this, guys. I'm not even saying it because look, just say let's call this guy Summers, yeah. Summers held a 25 million agreement with the what group? What group? Guys, what group was it? The Celestial Dragons, and signed on October the 5th. Bro, I'm not. You think I'm chatting shit, yeah? The same company, the same group, yeah, was who he had a $25 million agreement with. The same group, yeah, suddenly had a special little God Valley Island, and they're doing all sorts of things, yeah, and blackmail. You're telling me there's no freaking comparison? There's no black, bro. Am I crazy, guys? Am I crazy? And I showed you Balfour Declaration. I showed you how this guy, the family, the leader, literally is the head of the group, bro. Now tell me I'm going crazy, guys. Yeah, so I showed you evidence. I pointed you to I pointed the freaking facts out, man. And now I showed you how Oda is drawing parallels, how Oda is covering this guy's left eye, but at the same time, Emu, while he's covering his left eye, he's showing the eye of Horus, the left eye of Horus, which we know Horus is connected to the ancient Egyptians, where they are connected to Ra, Horus, and Baal. And all of them did what? Pagan worshipping, but at the same time, they accepted human sacrifices. They do weird practices. They enslaved people. How do you think the pyramids were made? They enslaved people. They believed in magic. Magic was an all-time high. They did all that shit in the time of the ancient Egyptians, and they worshipped these deities, right? And my guy is holding what? What's on his left hand? Sorry, what's on his right hand? He's got the left eye of Ra. I'm sorry, of Horus. So that's the eye he's showing. That's his prominent eye. Well, what do the eyes of the pyramid, all the Jay-Z people and all these guys they show? They show the left eye. They always go like this. Come on, man. Come on. I bet nobody in the freaking scene is saying this shit. No One Piece YouTuber is gonna say this shit. Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. For a while, like when I was young, I can't lie, I was into all of these like potential, I would say conspiracies, but it's only conspiracy until it's proven right? Then it's actually fact. Now, everything I said so far, yeah, I'm not gonna add any conspiratorial element to it. I'm gonna bring facts when I do the video. I'm gonna prove, yeah, that this is an actual ongoing thing. Madonna, let me show you. Madonna eye, yeah. Madonna eye, Illuminati, yeah. Like so many people. There's so many people that do this shit, yeah. Look, she's what eye is she showing? She's covering her right eye, showing her left eye. What eye is she showing? Covering her right eye, showing her left eye. Yeah. What eye is she showing? Bro, why is it? Why is this? Why is this case? What? Am I going crazy, guys? Look, why are they always showing the left eye? And now let's go to left eye of Horus. I know it's for healing and all these things. That's duping these people. Oh, left eye is supposed to be. Look, if you go back to the Bible or you go back to the Old Testament, it's talking about. Fingers away. Man, I had the worst pulled up. I'll go on my script actually. Gear 6. Bro, Oda's learned, bro. Oda knows this shit. Oda's been studying this shit. You know, many of these artists, this mangakas, the way they write these, like Berserk, for instance. When my guy was Miruma, when he was writing Berserk, the amount of books they read, the amount of shit they learn about, about history, about conspiratorial shit, they learn this shit and they incorporate it within their own writings, because that's how good story sells. Because if you can put a bit of truth into it, then you can resonate with the people. Because deep down, every one of you know there's some things I'm saying here which actually is true. It's not. This might seem like a stream where Yusuf's gone off the rail. He's basically taking the piss now. But everything I'm saying, honestly speaking, you know deep down here, there's too many coincidences, too many evidence that's brought forth. Oda sees it, man. Oda 100% sees it. I need to sit down with my guy and ask him, why did he do this? Why did he put Emu on top of a pyramid? Why does he look like the Eye of Providence from the dollar bill? Why is that there? Why does he have the Eye of Horus on his freaking on his hands? Why is the left eye covered and there's a pattern? Can you see the pattern that goes to his eyes? The tattoo. His left eye, which is there's a demonic pattern, or it links to his eyes and then it comes to his hands, which is all connected. So the left eye, he's actually is the left eye over here, and I think it connects to the eyes behind his back, the off him. Yeah, that's what I think. So his real eye is the eye that has the eye of left eye of Horus. The right eye is not his real eye. This is blind eye, because again, like Hakuba takes control of Cavendish, and he can see through that eye. So that eye is actually blind. Yeah, and every left eye, the left eye represents material and represents the physical. The right eye represents the spiritual. The spiritual right now is for Emu. He's in a trance. That's why he can't see through it. Yeah. So now, bro, if I get missing here, my guys make some dua for me to make some prayers. But this is just One Piece. I'm just trying to connect it to One Piece because I feel like Oda, bro, he did a great job, man. I respect Oda so much because he's writing such a subtle story and trying to give us some hints about a real day to day. Like what can we learn from this? What we can learn from One Piece is that there's someone. We don't need to wait for a Luffy type figure, although I believe a Luffy type figure will come. Yeah, but if you don't believe in that, that's fine. But you don't need to wait for that shit. Just look what the Revolutionary Dragons are doing. The Revolution Dragons, they know that the people in Marijoa, they are dependent on food. They're like human beings, just like us. The people in Marijoa, look, go back. Look how freaking shitting. My guy Garling is shitting his pants, and he's saying, no, let Emu go. We're freaking shitting our pants. We can't starve. The Holy Land can't. We need food. Yeah, why? Because freaking normal people like the Revolutionary Dragons were made a freaking impact. What did they do? They didn't do it themselves. They went to the countries that were oppressed and they said, no, what are you guys doing? Fight for yourself. Like, talk out. You know what's going on. And no one's gonna speak out right now in our day and age until it goes too far, when people are really broke. The normal right now, the oil prices are up. Everything is going crazy. But once it reaches the normal hearts of the people, and they realize, wait a minute, it's not a certain race, it's not a certain group of people. Like, it's not about race and immigration, all these things. It's about, there's a certain elite, and they're pulling the strings. Once people catch up, then that's the only way people can see a change in society in a positive way. I don't want anyone to just think I'm trying to push for like a revolution. I'm not a dragon, mate. I feel like people should be conscious about these things, and understand Luffy. What Oda's trying to teach us is to understand freedom. I don't believe in complete freedom. I think every country will have laws, and limiting freedom is important. I do believe that. I'm not like, oh, Luffy believes in freedom for everybody. I think limiting freedom is a good thing, because sometimes some person's freedom might be an oppression to someone else. One man's freedom is another man's oppression. Let's say if I say someone weirdo comes up to me, I like beating up people, I like to slap their face, that's my freedom. I enjoy that. Why are you taking my joy away from me? I'm like, bloody hell, you're a bit psychotic, aren't you? Calm down, mate. Your freedom is oppressing someone else. As long as your freedom don't oppress people, and sometimes understanding what that means. That oppression doesn't mean direct oppression. It could be a long-term oppression, right? That certain laws are in place, like because you feel like, you know what, I need those laws, because if there's no laws, people will be unsafe. They'll start doing things which eventually will take away other people's freedom in the long run. So value system matters, but at the same time, I do believe there is a generic way to do things. Like when you generally just grab someone, hold them, and put them in the cage, that's clear oppression, right? There's no debate about that. Now, those things we can talk about and we can argue. I'm not talking about intricate laws and like societal norms and how we can change those things. I'm not talking about that. But anyways, coming back to One Piece, man. I think One Piece, man, right now is on its peak, and I'm gonna make sure this Emu video. Oops, what the frick happened there? Is definitely, I'm gonna go into a deep end, and it's gonna talk about all of these conspiracies and how Oda's trying to draw parallels from our day and age, and how Emu. Wait, let me write this down. How Emu. Where's it gone? Here we go. How Emu draws power from his left eye of Horus. Emu is blind in his right eye. The power of Horus. Horus connects him to the shadow realm. Hiryu, she said, I don't think Luffy cares about freedom. Will individual people freedom, he don't directly goes to a country to deliver, unless he feeds them. I agree. Like, Luffy is not a person that comes cares about the societal norm of a country. It only goes when it goes so far, when there's clear oppression, when he can see people literally starving, when he can see people literally being caged up, like in Dressrosa, when people cry out for help, when it gets so far. Those are the like people can complain all they want about like bro, I deserve I don't know, I deserve to do XYZ. I get that. No one deserves anything, and a democracy exists in this day and age where we can decide as a whole what law should be accepted, what shouldn't be accepted. But unfortunately, democracy is a lie. Democracy is a lie, and people need to understand that. And it's a lie because no matter how the people come together to make a choice, if there's people on the top pulling the strings, and they're the one that makes the final cut and the final decision, the decision that the normal people can never make. Like for instance, what happened in right now, the current situation that happened right now, did anyone agree to having striking a foreign country like from the West? Did anyone agree for a foreign strike on a leader of another country? No one agreed to that. The people of the people of the Navy or the government, let's call them us again. The people didn't agree to. Oh, let's get the leader of another country get assassinated. Who agreed to that? The common people didn't agree to that. There wasn't no voting going on. Let's see what. No, it was the leader of that country. He followed another leader of another country and said, let's do it as the betterment of society. So yes, democracy is there. It exists, but it's a facade. It's a facade. Right now, the bill, most people's oil price has gone up. No one agreed to this. No one decided, oh, you know what? If we do this, let's call it liberation. Let's liberate this country because that's what the people are claiming they're doing. Liberate this country, but no one agreed to this. They just forced the liberation of another country was forced upon them, and it's forced upon us. And I'm saying liberation in quotation marks because. Look, it's like what Emu said. Emu will come to people and then he will liberate them, free them. He'll snuff out that light to free the people. That's how they talk. They talk like, I'm helping you. Some of them are so sick in the head. They're like, oh no, I'm helping you. I'm killing you. I'm relieving you of your pain from living. Because if you live, it's suffering. It's that type of sickness in the head. Anyways, I got too political, guys. I couldn't help it. There's no Sid or Siraj to stop me, man. Alright, man, I'm gonna cut the stream short now. I basically shout out to my guy, the Oracle Fish. My guy, you are a legend. I don't know what currency that is, but thanks for the donation for the 70 Zars. Is it possible for Emu to be the sea devil? Because the beast of the sea, Revelation 13, the beast is set to rule the world, deep sea contract. I mentioned this one of the old streams. I said why it's called the abyssal contract, the sea covenant. And I did say that in Abrahamic religions, there is a association to the sea. Like if you guys ever watched Constantine, my guy Constantine, he had to use water as a medium to connect to the hell. He literally he did a ritual and he used water as a medium to connect to the world of the devil, right? And there's also like I think there's a Islamic paradigm that in the middle of the ocean, that's where most of the spirits live. Like I don't know if this is true or authentic, I don't know, but there is a connection to water and being a medium to the depths of the sea. So yes, he could be the sea king, or sorry, sea devil. Yeah, and but then it goes to the fact that why is all other devil fruits like they get weakened to the sea? Why did that happen? Or it could be that he doesn't get weak to the sea and he gets stronger, he gets weaker because he's away from Eve, sunlight Eve, and then sea doesn't really affect him. And the reason why other devil fruit gets weaker in the sea because the power that the energy that they're given, Emu gets jealous and then he takes it back from them. But I don't know. Because then you have to think about the spirit, the sea spirit also. Then the sea spirit also but kind of facilitate the creation of Medi, and so on and so forth. Okay, Terra's like, wait, guys, does mortality come from the Ope no Mi, include immunity from the seawater? I don't think it does, because look, I'll explain it in the next video. On Wednesday is dropping. I explained the immunity to the sea. So the sea, the devil fruit effects on the sea. The sea doesn't take away someone's devil fruit. The sea just weakens the person who holds the devil fruit. So maybe it's because we know that a potential person who has a devil fruit, there's a spirit, that's giving the person the power. Maybe the spirit becomes so weak, because it's under the sea, that the person becomes weak. The power doesn't disappear. The power of the person never disappears in the devil fruit. They just don't have the power to activate the power. So they don't have the energy to activate the power anymore. But I explained why Luffy's always been a Zoan, because even though like most fruits, when you go to Paramecia or when you go to Logias, they have to do some activation stage. If you want to turn into fire, if Ace had to turn into fire, he had to activate something to become fire. If he got a sieve cuff on him, he can't become fire. Right? Not because the power gets stripped away from him, because there's no energy in him to activate his devil fruit. Same thing with Paramecia. For instance, Buggy. If Buggy wears the sea stone cuff, he can't split his body in half. He can't do anything funny. He's going to be himself. If he's under the sea, he's going to be himself, because his power to activate, to split into many pieces, it doesn't exist. I mean, it's not there. There's no energy. But where a Zoan user is different. The Zoan user's DNA itself changes. So when Chopper, when he goes into the bottom of the ocean, he doesn't lose his personality. He doesn't become a reindeer. It's like, oh, I'm just a simple reindeer. No, he's still Chopper. And the reason being, because the DNA itself changed. But they don't have energy to go tap into the arsenal of power that the Zoan can give them. Which I believe, this is why I believe that Luffy was always a Zoan. Because when you go back to Arlong Park arc, and he fell into the ocean, when he was pushed into the ocean and he was knocked out, his body was still stretching. Remember his head was pulled out the water to help him breathe. That only could happen if he was a Zoan. And that's my understanding of it. So that's why I think he's a Zoan, Hiryu, because he can stretch underwater. But if he was a Paramecia, if he was a Logia, I don't think he would be able to stretch underwater, primarily because there needs to be some activation energy to activate his devil fruit. Like every other, I don't know. And can you guys name me one devil fruit that's a Paramecia that doesn't need activation and is always active? Like someone can say like Alvida's skinny. Oh, Alvida's already skinny, so you're telling me she becomes fat? No, Alvida's becoming skinny wasn't because her devil fruit made her skinny. It's because her devil fruit gave her the power to slip through anything. The fat literally slipped through her body. It's gone now. She's always going to be skinny because the fat lipids that she had, it slipped away. It's not the effect of a devil fruit. That's done. The fat is gone. Katakuri is a special paramecia, but we don't know how he's going to be underwater. We haven't seen him underwater if he can become a paramecia. Now, unless you show me there's a panel where he's wearing cuffs, sea stone cuffs, or if he's underwater and he can move like he can. Owen can use his Owen power even when he sticks his hands in. That's a different. Normal seawater, so seawater and being submerged in it is not the same as you touching water. Like for instance, if you take a bath for instance, it doesn't affect your devil fruit power. The more you submerge in seawater, the more you become weaker. Yeah, like the water, like the ocean, yeah, compared to a river. The river won't make you weak, and I think it was the SBS that Oda clarified that they can take baths, for instance, without become weak. What makes you weak is the sea. There's something to do with the sea that makes them weak, right? Not to do with water itself. So water doesn't make them weak, it's sea. Now the sea, yeah, if you're submerged, the more you submerge into it, the more weaker you become. So let's say half your body's there, you can probably use half your strength. But Luffy was fully submerged into the water. His whole body, only thing was submerged, his neck was like out, you know? Another thing is that he was one of the only ones I know that was unconscious and his body was stretching. And we know this because when he went to, I should have mentioned this in the video, which I didn't, which is coming out on Wednesday. Luffy, when he was completely out, he was out cold and he was sent by Kuma to Amazon Lily. They were playing with his pee-pee. They were stretching that shit out. I swear they were playing with his balls and pee-pee and they were trying to stretch it out when he was knocked out. So his devil fruit was active when he was unconscious. Like, we haven't seen that before. That shows that his devil fruit is just part of his DNA. And because that's part of his DNA, he always had a Zoan. It just makes sense. Paramecia, you need an activation. Like, even like Mr. One, with his swords, he has a normal hand, but it becomes a sword, it becomes blades. You got Alvida, who physically slipped out of the fat. That's the effect of the devil fruit, not the devil fruit itself. You got, what's his name again? People say sometimes, what's that guy's name again? From Drum Island, the king with the jaw. I forgot his name. Yeah. Freaking hell, what's the name, man? It's annoying me now. What's that guy's name? Wapple. You got Wapple, his jaw, but his jaw wasn't made because of the devil fruit. His jaw was given to him by the doctors. They made his jaw before he ate the devil fruit. Yeah. So that jaw, yeah, it's not because of the devil fruit. That's his literal jaw. What else? Give me another devil fruit user that you know, yeah, that when they're unconscious, the power's still active. I don't know any. No, most paramecias, well, pretty much all paramecias I know, yeah. I mean, provenly, and even Logias. The Logias is a great example. Smoker, Ace, none of them could turn into their element. Why? If their DNA changed, they would be able to just warp out of it. It should be weakly, little bit working, but it's not. It's just completely nullified. It's because they don't have energy to. There's an activation stage, where zones don't require that because it's part of the. Buggy wouldn't be able to fly if his feet is in the sea. When was his feet? I don't know. It's the entire body's not in sea. Because remember, it works like this. If you are fully submerged, or a majority of your body is submerged, the weaker you become. The sea does not nullify your devil fruit. The sea weakens you. The sea weakens your will, your hockey, wherever it is, of just devil fruit users. Yeah, it doesn't nullify your power. Just remember that. Yeah. So I'm not saying that the person that Paramecia can't use the power if their feet's on the water. I'm saying that if they're submerged in water like Luffy was, or if they're unconscious like Luffy was in Amazon Lily, the powers wouldn't work. That's what I'm trying to say. Mr. One is always metal. We haven't seen him on water. No, we saw Mr. One with normal hands. We saw him with normal hands, and then he turned it into blade. Yeah, we know that his metal power was there, but we haven't seen him like we can't, unless he literally says, "Oh, I'm metal right now." Like, we have seen him literally turn his hand into metal, and there's some activation stage, there. Anyways, Mr. One is always metal. Okay, but he wasn't using his power when he was seen in Prison Stone. Yeah, I don't think anyone. Another reason why I think Luffy's power, yeah. Look, I'm not saying he can't. His power will always be active. He can always stretch his body, even with Prison Stones. I think zones are just generally different. Like, can you imagine Chopper turning back into a reindeer just because he got cuffs on? That doesn't happen because the DNA changed. Anyways, that's one of my arguments I make in the Gear 6 video, why he always had his own and is a foreshadowing, and Oda works in foreshadowing. And then from there I go to the Skypiea arc and I explain everything I explained in this stream. I kind of summarized it in really well in the video that's coming out on Wednesday. But anyways, I think I covered most grounds. I know what to talk about in the Emu video because you guys helped me out. Shout out to you guys. I got some screenshots. If you want to give me some more opinions about Emu and what you guys think, I can quickly add it on and then I'll juggle it. He is that, but Chopper's the only other person. No, but he's a Zoan. Name me another Zoan that can turn back to, that cannot be a Zoan, like underwater or with sea stone cough. Like Zoan, like even the I don't know if the Jailer Beast had any sea stone coughs on, but like I can't imagine a Zoan lose their Zoan faculties, because they might not be able to tap into it more, because with Zoans they have the base state of the Zoan form, but they don't. The more, like with Chopper, I explained in the video, I mean on Wednesday, Chopper is not in his full he has not entered his Zoan transformation yet. Chopper is in his hybrid state, and every point he goes to, like his monster point, his brain point, and all these things, these are just hybrid forms of his actual Zoan. He has not reached his Zoan yet. He hasn't figured it out because he doesn't know his fruit. Luffy and Chopper, they are one of the two Zoan users who don't know how to tap into their Zoan form. Yeah, because they don't know their fruit. They were given preconceived notions. Chopper was given the preconceived notion that he had the human fruit, and just that, I can be a human, like Dr. Kuriha. He didn't have, and then he started doing experimentation with his body by taking drugs and seeing different types of forms he can take, and then later he kind of adapted to it and to do it on his own. Luffy likewise, he always believed he had the robber fruit, so he always like experimented using the concept of robber. Oh, robber can do this, robber can pump blood faster, it can expand, but he didn't know he had the god fruit. So he's limited in his creativity, and the more you tap into your power, the more it reveals itself when it comes to Zoans. How is Luffy going to beat Emu though? This matchup seems unfair. I don't think he's going to beat Emu. I think he's going to beat Emu with his final transformation, the Zoan form, which he becomes an angel, and he has powers like he can, like angelic powers, but at the same time he might be able to bend space and time. I really believe that. Like, and that logic between that is like a rubber band. If he can affect his devil fruit powers to space time, it's like you're stretching space time, but when it recoils back, it'll contract, and momentarily it'll go back in time. So I think Luffy will be so annoying to fight. It'll be like some Looney Tune character that, you know, when they pop the head off out of the, it's like, you know, that little memes that you see in Looney Tune, they come out one way and then they go into the wall and they come out another way. I think Luffy's gonna exhibit some powers like that, where he's gonna be popping himself out of space time, and he's gonna put his head back in, and he's gonna be popping out in different directions, which is gonna, that's how I see Luffy's end power, is angelic power, which is affecting space time. But he's not going to reach that right now. I think Luffy and the gang are going to lose in Elbaf. Dragon is going to come to save their ass. Something's going to happen that's going to help them out, but I don't think Luffy's going to win. We have around 1 more year before the end of One Piece, or maybe 1.5 more years apparently. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Luffy's going to lose. Guys, yeah, I think I covered most ground. You guys have been legends. Everyone on chat, thanks for your contributions. Honestly speaking, honestly, if you guys want me to add anything, you guys got any points about Emu or Emu's power, let me know now before I end the stream. So far, just to go over everything, what do we have? We talked about why things are inanimate and how they come to life. Emu's hockey can bring them to life, or he summoning devils or demons from beneath the earth. Oh yeah, we talked about Emu being sick of the sea, or he got injured during the time of Joy Boy, and his shout out to, who was it? I think it was Hiryu no Mishi mentioned that maybe the power of the Ope no Mi can freeze the body into a stasis, and that's why he can't heal properly. I like that theory actually. But I'm more keen to the fact that he's away from the tree and he's closer to the sea. That's what I'm gravitating towards. Then we got the fact that what else we got? Yes. Okay, then it's possible that he's sick with the same sickness that Roger has, and why I understood Roger's sickness, that it could be that because he has so much hockey, his body couldn't hack it. But if he has the Ope no Mi, and it gives you eternal youth, doesn't the immense hockey cannot be contained by the immortal body? So kind of defeats that purpose and that theory. We talked about the conspiracies. I don't like to call it conspiracy. We talked about the parallels that Oda plays on the real life Emu and the real life Satan Yahoo, the celestial dragons and the chosen people of our world, the Holy Land and the Holy Land of our world. We talked about that. The secret society in the world of One Piece and the secret society in our world, and how Oda draws parallels. The ancient
ancient times of the Egyptian era of sacrifice, magic, and so on and so forth, and demonic possession that happened in our world of the historical Egypt. But we compare it to Emu and the Eye of Horus. We're going to talk about that in that video. We got what did we talk about? Other powers we talked about was how his Eye of Horus connects to his real eye, which is his left eye, and it connects to his ophonym eyes. That could be a power. I also think he has a power to summon demons and to corrupt souls, yeah, or to empty souls and put spirits into them, yeah. So Domi Reversi explained that. Domi Reversi, how that works. Summon or create demonic spirits and put it into a host, yeah, host. And then go over the covenants. I think the covenants work differently. Covenants, yeah. The agree is called mutual covenants. I call it mutual covenants because it's agreed. You have to agree to it first. Yeah, agreeable. Then effect. The Domi Reversi is a covenant too, but it's a forced covenant. Yeah, Emu takes lifespan. Forcefully. Similar to Big Mom. You're on point today. I also think Emu is a cyborg of some kind 800 years ago. That's what the Metal Hearts are about. I don't know about that, because we know that Emu gives his covenant, yeah, on command. We know he gave Harold his covenant, the first covenant, without seeing Harold. Yeah, the first covenant. The second covenant he got when he saw him, but there was no surgery done to change his heart into some metal shit. Harold had a covenant, which I would say is the same as the ones where where all of them have it, right? Yeah, all of the God's Knight have. Actually, not all of the God's Knight. Harold's covenant, I believe, is the same as all of the God's Knights. And I think the fourth covenant, which is given to the goddess Sais, and it was given to goddess Sais and the Gunko, and now is given to Garling. The reason why I say this, and I explained it already, let me quickly show you Emu's covenant. Maybe the wiki has it. Because I forgot the name. Alright. So just to clarify, I think the shallow covenant doesn't do anything, It's just by name, but we know it does something. The shallow covenant can control anyone that's within Emu's vicinity. You understand? So if Emu's here and someone has a shallow covenant, they can be themselves, but they are controlled under Emu, and they become like they get possessed when Emu's nearby. It's like an area on effect, right? The second covenant, the depths covenant, which is what Harold got, and that was the second covenant. The Shanks managed to evade. He was lucky. He's like, nah, I'm out of here, man. he did skip this covenant, but this covenant lets Emu control you even from afar. So if Emu's in the Red Line in Merijoa, and Harold was all the way in Elbaf, Emu was able to control him, which we saw. Now this covenant, the depths covenant, I think it changes your personality. I think when it's activated, it really, really, truly changes your personality, and a devil or a demon of Emu takes possession, and it changes your character. So you keep your memories, but you as a personality, it completely changes. And that's why I think that Goddess Says might be actually not all of them might be bad. Some of them might be actually good Goddess Says, good people, but they were tricked into getting the first covenant, just like Harold. And then they got the second covenant, or they got the first covenant, and within the vicinity of Emu, he forced them to get the depths covenant, and they became subservient like they are. And then the abyssal covenant is different. Now we haven't seen the abyssal covenant, but we know the gods have the abyssal covenant, the deep covenant. And my idea is the deep covenant is basically they get the essence of Emu himself. So the Emu shares a bit of its essence, including its life force. And Emu's life force is immortal, is eternal, because of the Oppi surgery. So by effect, they get not just the body becomes immortal, but they get eternal youth. There's two different things: eternal youth and immortality. Immortality, for instance, like for instance, Garling, when he fought Rox, when Rox was slapping the shit out of him, which he was getting slapped out, Garling was keep healing. His body kept healing. Remember that, right? All these God Knight people, they kept healing and they don't really get damaged. But Garling aged. We know Garling aged from God Valley till now because he's an old man. Yet he had the covenant. He had the depths covenant. Yeah, all the way back in God Valley. Do you understand what I'm saying here now? Garling, a young, sexy Garling, he was wooing all the ladies. He had the depths covenant. We know that because his body was blown up to pieces and he kept rejuvenating, right? Yet so his immortality, his body's immortality was there. But he aged. He aged. So the aging factor is separate from, the eternal youth is separate from immortality. And that's where the deep covenant come from. Now Gunko looked like the way she was in God Valley. Because Gunko was present in God Valley. Right? And Gunko, I think she had the Abyssal Covenant way back during God Valley. And that's why Gunko has not aged. Because she has the next covenant, which is the Abyssal Covenant. Garling only got the Abyssal Covenant just recently when he became accepted to the Goddess Say. That's why I don't think he can age anymore. Like he'll always be the way he is. But at that point in time in God Valley, he only had the Depths Covenant. That's my interpretation. So the Abyssal Covenant, in my eyes, it can grant immortality. It can grant eternal youth by sharing Emu's power and essence into people. That's So that's a breakdown on the covenants. And the demon covenant or the Domi Reversi is not like a mutual covenant, so it's forced upon you. So it's weaker. Because if you accept, it's like the transaction is forced. But yeah, I basically broke down the covenants on stream, which I'm going to break down on the video too. I don't think what else we can talk about. We can talk about summoning circles and how that works. Oh yeah, we can talk about telepathy, immortality. Yeah, I don't think they talk about the eternal youth like I broke it down, but I'll do that nicely for you lot. Anyways, I think that's it, guys. Yep, I'm not gonna add the real. Oh, let me address Hiryu's point about the cyborg heart. That's a good point. Like, why is it cyborg? Yeah, why did it metallify? And I think, honestly speaking, yeah, it's like a metaphor as well. Like you got a heart made out of steel. And it's like it goes back to like there was a couple of years ago I made a video about how I know Oda's getting inspired from everywhere, but one of the things I think Oda was inspired from was also the Wizard of Oz, and I kept saying Emu is inspired from the Wicked Witch of the West, right? The West. And there's something called the tin heart. When someone takes your heart, yeah, and the tin man his heart was taken and he became a tin. He became, and that's what I think there's a parallel there, but yeah, and I like the idea about Horcrux. It could be a part of Emu Horcrux, but I don't think Summers was given that much power. I think he just had the second covenant. But then again, when Harold got busted up here and killed by Loki, yeah, I think it did kind of impact him a lot. So it could be like a Horcrux. Anyway, guys, I think I'm done for this now. This stream it went on for quite a long time. Much love for everyone that stayed until the end. It's quite a long stream. Much love for everyone that actually contributed and helped me out with this video. Watch out for the Gear 6 video, which is coming out Wednesday, and then hopefully a follow-up which is going to be this video that we're working on for Monday. Yep, if you want more streams like this, keep yourself subscribed, hit the notification bell on, and I still need to do the Hunter x Hunter manga read along, which I haven't done yet, so stay tuned for that. Alright, safe, peace, salams. Wait a minute, I have to cancel it now.